time for Huntingdon Bearcat football on the airnetwork.net and 94.1 FM in Huntingdon. Presented by Huntingdon Moose Family Center 223, the heart of the community. And by D.C. Goodman & Sons and the Goodman family. Tonight's game is also brought to you by Simone Family Chiropractic at 613 Washington Street in downtown Huntingdon. Henswoods.net, the home of free classified ads. And by Austin Smith Heating and Plumbing of Huntingdon. And now, with all the action of tonight's Bearcat football game, here's Statman Chad States and Dave Shannon, live on the Air Network at 94.1 FM in Huntingdon.
It's the Super Bowl! Pretty much. Good evening, everybody. Dave Shannon, Chad States, ready to bring you tonight's game between the Bearcats and the Central Scarlet Dragons. And yeah, it is kind of the Super Bowl. It's something that everyone has had circled on their calendars pretty much since the beginning of the season. And surprisingly, you got the Bearcats coming in here undefeated at 8-0. And even more surprisingly is the fact that Central comes into the game with a record of 5-3.
Yeah, when you look at the three losses for Central, they've come to Hollidaysburg, they've come to Chestnut Ridge, and then they've also come to, let me find out the other team here who they lost to, Bellefonte.
Yeah,
so it's a combined 19-5 record for their losses. So who they've lost to are not bad football teams, Dave.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's what we have coming in front of us here tonight. And last week, another big offensive performance for the Bearcats as they were able to put up the 61 points against Phillipsburg Osceola. Good to see Ian Border just get back on track. I just thought after they ran the I formation and he started to rip off some yards, then they could have run any formation they wanted to and been successful, and that's pretty much the way it worked out.
Yeah, he got the feel back for the game after about the first three series. You can see his feet slipping out there a little bit, just a little bit unsure of his footing, all that other stuff. But again, once they put the I formation on, Ian tore loose, and for 177 yards and 2 touchdowns on the ground. Of course, that one big interception return he had later on in the game. But the other thing to go along with that is the passing game has done such a great job all year long, Dave, complementing the Bearcat rushing attack. So, we have said, take away one weapon and which other one's going to emerge. And that's what we might see tonight, because I would look for Central to really stack the line of scrimmage. Central likes to get it done in the trenches. They've dominated this Huntington team over the last 6 games in the trenches. So I would look for them to stack the line of scrimmage and dare Huntington to beat them by the pass. We have seen teams do that this year, and they failed. So tonight, we'll see what happens.
Well, one of the things I think worth mentioning, only 9 turnovers by the offense all season. And these yardage numbers are really impressive for a high school team. And that is the average passing play for the Bearcats gets 19.3 yards. And the yards per carry, and this is everybody. This is Ian Border and Drew Weglars and Andrew Hootie, anybody that has run the football, even in the jet sweeps and what have you, that is 6.8. Those are outstanding numbers for a high school team.
Absolutely, Dave. It just proves that once you get the ball in the hands of these dangerous guys, Price, Wagner, Border, it could be Weglars, it could be Werner, it could be Miller, who's developed into a nice pass receiver here throughout the year. They're going to make plays happen. It's a matter of just getting the ball in the hands to the person at the right time, and Huntington's been able to do that all year long. But let's talk about the defense here a little bit too, Dave.
Sure.
Last week, -1 yards rushing for Phillipsburg, and that improved as the game went on because it was hovering around -15, -16 for a long period of time. I know Phillipsburg threw the ball a lot, but this Huntington defense has tightened up and has played great for at least great for the last 4 weeks, if not great all season long.
Well, the other amazing thing we talked about it last week as the game was going on, that was there's not been scoring in the third quarter.
None.
All season. That is a very, very huge part of the success of this particular football game or football team. When you are able to hold the opposition scoreless for the entire season so far, what a shift in momentum that provides for you.
Absolutely. You figure coaches are going in at halftime to game plan for the second half. And they've come up empty-handed in 8 straight games because nobody scored on this Bearcat defense in the second half in that third quarter. The other thing you want to look at also is you want to try to convert on third down. Good luck. Opponents have only converted 25% of the time.
Yeah.
So the other big thing is, can you get your defense off the field on third down? And Huntington has been able to do that successfully throughout the whole entire year.
Well, there's another stat, and of course, Chad is the stat man, and one of the ones he brought up on special teams. The Huntingdon Bearcats average almost 30 yards per kick return, including taking 2 to the house, as they say. And the punt return average is around 10 yards per return, and that also includes a touchdown.
Right.
So that gives you an idea. You know, we talk about special teams. And we've talked a little bit about Gio Scaccia and his emergence as an outstanding field goal kicker, outstanding kicker in general. He still, every once in a while, has that muff on points after. And he generally, when he does it, he's pulling it to the left. Every time he's missed, it's been pulled to the left. Outside of that, what can you say about the kid? He's a sophomore, right?
Right, he's a sophomore, and we've talked about Huntington getting it done in 3 phases of the game, and as you said, the special teams has really stepped it up. Those stats that you read off, those are outstanding. I mean, when you look at punt return average, sometimes the punt return average is hovering around 5-6 yards because of the coverage that's coming down and getting you right away. For that to be 10, that's amazing, Dave. It really is. It just proves that Huntington has depth and they've got athletes, and they're going to need every bit of it tonight because this is a very solid Central football team. Huntington played very, very tough last year. The semifinal game here in Martinsburg, in Roaring Springs, was very close at the half. Well, a couple turnovers in the second half kind of turned that tide back over to Central. But these two teams want to get after each other. And there's familiarity out here, too, as I was talking about earlier. Big number 44 for Huntington, Ian Border. While Central has a big number 44 of their own, and that comes in the form of tight end Austin Garner. Austin's dad and Ian's dad played for the Bearcats back in the early 1990s and late 1980s together as high school football teammates. So there is familiarity across the football field as you look at each other. So we're going to see what happens tonight.
And as we all know, familiarity breeds contempt.
It does.
So it's been said. Yeah, this is going to be an interesting test here because there's a lot riding on this, too. This puts a number of things to bed for the Bearcats if they get this win tonight. Maybe the biggest one, Mountain League champs.
Yeah, they'll be the outright Mountain League champs. Right now it's a 3-way tie for that, but they'll be the outright. Actually, Huntington's in the lead, but Central and Bellefonte each have 1 loss. The other thing, and the more important thing, is it'll put Huntington in the driver's seat for that top seed in District 6 and an all-important home game in about 3 weeks. So that's the big thing is you want to secure that District 6 top seed, which they can do tonight, and also take home the Mountain League crown.
Well, everything is in a holding pattern. I thought we were going to get nailed with the national anthem in the middle of the pregame show tonight, but that's not happening. Everyone's waiting for the Scarlet Dragons to come through the inflatable football helmet, which is off to our left here in Roaring Spring.
And that is a gigantic inflatable football helmet. That's every bit of, 20 feet, 25 feet in the air.
Yeah, that's the real deal.
It's the real deal. There's no doubt about that. But it's a beautiful evening, Dave. It's a great evening for football.
Another field, by the way, that is in outstanding condition. I talked to Coach Judy about this. I said, wow, another field that looks like you're basically starting the season. He goes, I don't know, it's a little lumpy.
Regardless, it's in fine condition. And here we are, week number 9 of the high school football season. We're not wearing gloves. We're not wearing hats. It's just a beautiful Friday night, a beautiful evening for football, and hopefully a beautiful night for the Huntingdon Bearcats as they look to move to 9-0 this evening.
It is going to be noisy here, Chad. Both sides of the field are filled.
Yep.
We have TV here, the whole 9 yards. You can't ask for a much better atmosphere than we have here tonight. Central High School's football field, quite a bit removed from the school itself. It sits out in Martinsburg, which is a little bit of a hoof back the road toward Huntingdon. But nonetheless, it's a great place because you're up here on a hill. And I'm sure there are times when I would not say that. But as Chad said, the way the weather is here tonight doesn't get any better than this.
Picture perfect Friday night football.
All right, we're going to take a commercial timeout. When we come back, we'll talk with the head coach of the Huntingdon Bearcats, Mike Hootie. And we'll do that right after this. You're listening to Huntingdon Bearcats football on the airnetwork.net and 94.1 FM in Huntingdon.
Call Austin Smith Heating and Plumbing for affordable heating, plumbing, and drain cleaning services in Huntingdon. Count on 12 years of insured excellent service when it comes to heating, plumbing, ventilation, and drain cleaning. Call Austin Smith Heating and Plumbing, available evenings and weekends at an affordable rate. Call 814-506-5128. That's 506-5128 for Austin Smith Heating and Plumbing in Huntingdon. The Huntingdon Moose Family Center 223 is the heart of the community, and they have loads of activities in October. The Huntingdon Moose Family Center 223 proudly presents the Huntingdon Halloween Parade on Monday, October 23rd in downtown Huntingdon. Come on down with the entire family and enjoy the evening. Also in October, you can enjoy our Friday food specials beginning at 5 p.m. Plus, check our website for other exciting events. There's always something happening at the Huntingdon Moose Family Center 223, where you come in as friends and leave as family. Join us today.
Sometimes facts are hard to face. Statistics show that obesity is a problem in the United States, and it's not getting any better. At Simone Family Chiropractic, we understand this problem. We also know that obesity leads to very serious health problems later in life. There is a way to cleanse your body and get back to optimum health. It is called the Doctor-Supervised Chirothin System, and it teaches you how and what to eat in the real world. Call us at Simone Family Chiropractic at 814-643-2616, or stop in and see us at 613 Washington Street in Huntingdon, across from All American Pizza, or find us on Facebook.
Hi, this is Coach Hootie. The Huntingdon Bearcats are on the airnetwork.net.
As we do every week, it is time once again to chat with the head coach of the Huntingdon Bearcats. That, of course, is Mike Hootie, as we get set to take on the Central Scarlet Dragons. And first of all, we always like to take a look back at the week before. Quite an offensive output last week against Phillipsburg.
Yes, sir. We just kept playing, and we started a little flat, but we caught up to ourselves a little later and put the points on the board.
Another thing you did, I talked to you about this last week, and you were in a situation to do it again last week in that game, and that was the clock management and being able to get another score before the clock ran out at halftime. Another great job by you and your players.
Well, we practice it, and it's tough to get that right every time. I just hope we can keep doing it, because you only have so much time to make a decision.
Well, and there's going to be a game when that's going to come into play. You're going to need those extra points that you can get, either maybe to win a game at the end, or at least before halftime to get a bigger lead headed into halftime.
Exactly.
All right. Last week, a lot of things that caught my eye, but one in particular was the reappearance of the OI formation. And once you ran out of the I for a little while, Ian Border, it was like you don't take the Lamborghini out of the garage and step on the gas immediately. You warm it up a little bit. And it seemed like the I got him warmed up, and then he was just totally back to normal.
Well, we just wanted to play Smash Mouth to wake us up. We appeared to be a little lethargic, so we went right at him, and it appeared to do the job as more of a alarm clock, so to speak, hopefully,
Well, definitely did the job, because your guys started to have room for Border to run. There was no doubt about that. Coming up tonight, it's a big game as you take on Central. And, of course, a lot of people have been looking at this game for a long time, since the season started. Means a lot. I know you approach every game. It's just another block in the foundation of a season. But anything in particular you can tell us about Central coming into the game here?
Well, we know they're a good football team. They've had a couple setbacks, but that doesn't mean anything when the outright Mountain League title's on the line here tonight. So,
also tonight, one of the things I've heard it said that you got to win the war in the trenches, and that's been a tough go against Central over the course of time. Is there anything that you were able to do to prepare your team for that war in the trenches?
Well, that's a winter weightlifting, summer weightlifting thing, and our guys have been doing a good job, and we'll see how it pans out tonight. They have to win it, so stay low, keep your head up, that type of stuff.
All right, a couple of guys I wanted to talk to you about. Isaiah Reed and Ben Briggs been doing a great job defensively with the amount of sacks they have this year, and they just each need a couple of sacks, and they could break the single-season record for sacks. Talk about those two guys and their value. I know Ben has a value for sure on offense, but he's a big defensive player as well. Talk about those two guys.
Well, Ben likes to play defense, likes sacks too, and Izzy's a 10th grader, but he's got some really good skills, and right now they might be the two best defensive ends we've ever had here as long as I've been coach. So,
well, let's hope that they're able to pick up a couple each tonight and get a little bit closer to that single-season sack mark for the Bearcats. Coach, going to be a tough one, but hopefully you walk out Mountain League champs and got everything all tidied up. Good luck.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
All right, we'll be back with the start of tonight's game after this on the airnetwork.net and 94.1 FM in Huntingdon. D.C. Goodman & Sons and the Goodman family are committed and dedicated to excellence by supporting quality education and athletics for all youth of Huntingdon County. For over 3 generations, D.C. Goodman & Sons and their staff of quality tradesmen have provided excellent service in the installation of plumbing, mechanical and industrial piping, electrical, and fire sprinkler systems. Residential services are also available. D.C. Goodman & Sons and the Goodman family will continue to serve the community, and thank you for your support. The Goodman family wishes you the best to all area students in your pursuit of excellence. All-American Pizza and Subs in downtown Huntingdon at 612 Washington Street is the home of the new Bearcat Sub. Enjoy mozzarella cheese with bacon, crispy chicken, sour cream and chive fries, and our top-selling wing flavor, Mactown Gold, all wrapped on a fresh homemade roll. Try the Bearcat plus our many other great pizzas and subs at All-American Pizza and Subs. Don't forget their new Pepsi flavor shots, too. All-American Pizza and Subs will donate $1 for every pizza sold during October, with proceeds going toward breast cancer research. Call 643-0222 for delivery. Open till 9, closed Mondays.
The Huntingdon Moose Family Center 223 is the heart of the community, and they have loads of activities in October. The Huntingdon Moose Family Center 223 proudly presents the Huntingdon Halloween Parade on Monday, October 23rd in downtown Huntingdon. Come on down with the entire family and enjoy the evening. Also in October, you can enjoy our Friday food specials beginning at 5 p.m. Plus, check our website for other exciting events. There's always something happening at the Huntingdon Moose Family Center 223, where you come in as friends and leave as family. Join us today.
This is Ben Briggs, and you're listening to the Huntingdon Bearcats on the airnetwork.net.
And welcome back to Central High School Field in Roaring Spring, PA, where the Bearcats are about to take on the Central Scarlet Dragons in a big Mountain League contest that we've been waiting for since the beginning of the season. It is here. It is another beautiful night for football. I'm really get a little concerned when we don't have a lot of precipitation and our falls are excessively dry. Cuts into my effective fishing time, but I will say one thing. It has preserved every football field that we have been to. And it was kind of interesting. I talked to the athletic director here before the game, and she had indicated that they had some JV games that were scheduled, and they decided to cancel those because that was right around the time that the hurricane rain came up through, and they wanted to make sure they preserved the football field, and they obviously did. There's just your typical divots that you end up with in any football field that is grass over the course of the season. And as Coach Hootie said, it is a little lumpy out there.
A little lumpy. No, to your point, Dave, every field that we have visited so far has been in great condition. You don't even, it barely looks used out here for crying out loud.
Yeah. And last week, it was kind of interesting. We had talked about that.
Central has won the toss and will receive to start the game.
Yep,
and there you go.
Yep, Central has won the toss. They will receive.
Well, the good news about that is the Bearcats get the second half kickoff.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised with that. Yeah. I thought they would have deferred possession.
They're trying to make an early statement here. Sometimes that's what you need to do.
Well, and we've seen that, against Juniata and also against Baltimore, where those two teams both came out in their first two series and did very well against the Huntington defense until the Huntington defense adjusted and pretty much shut them down from that point forward. So maybe they want to come out and make a statement, get an early jump out. on the Bearcats here. But Central has a nice offense on their own. They're led by running back Tristan Detweiler, an outstanding running back, filling in the shoes for All-State running back Alex Hohenstein, who has taken his talents over to Penn State. And also with Preston Carstetter and Austin Garner out there, they've got the lookings of a good, what I call a three-headed monster, much like what Huntingdon has with Hootie, with Border, and with Price.
All right, getting set to kick off. Gio Sconcha teeing it up at the 40-yard line. And going back deep for the Scarlet Dragons, Tristan Detweiler, that Chad was just talking about, along with Zachary Parks. Parks to the left as we look at it, and Detweiler to the right. Huntingdon Bearcats dressed in their road white tops with the numbers in navy trimmed in red. And, of course, the word Bearcats there across the front. And they got their blue pants. A couple of the guys have red socks on below the navy blue pants. Gio Sconcha puts his hand up, approaches the football. And here we go. Line drive shot, hits at the 25 and gets past Zachary Parks. He picks it up at about the 4-yard line and is going to try to run it back, and he's met by a swarm of Bearcats tacklers, and he'll end up with either no yardage on the return. Well, it looks like side judge is coming in. Maybe you can give him a yard out to the 5. He picked it up at the 4, got it out to the 5, but what a great start for Huntingdon and their special teams, and really a mistake there by Parks. It got by him, and it was it was a whirling dervish kind of thing.
Absolutely. Good start, though, for the Bearcats. The Central sets up shop at their own 5-yard line.
Just underway at Central High School Field in Roaring Spring. And there's a false start right off the bat for Central. I'm pretty sure that's a false start.
That's what I am, too, but, yep, there it is.
Indeed it is. So from bad field position, it gets even worse as they move at half the distance to the goal, now at the 2.5-yard line, and certainly not the way that the Scarlet Dragons wanted to start out. Let's see if they can get a play off this time. Special team stutter and then a first snap stutter. Here's a snap, quarterback keep, and the quarterback draw by Tristan Detweiler.
Yeah, they're running out of the Wildcat right now, Dave.
Detweiler picks up a couple as he gets it back to the 5-yard line. So he gets that penalty yardage back, but not much more. And it is 2nd down and 10 for the Scarlet Dragons. Don't pay attention to the scoreboard. I can see the tip of that football touching the 5.
That's what it looks like to me. And then you look down here, it's weird the way we're looking at this, but
yeah.
2-yard pickup.
Oh, you know, that field's lumpy. So.
Yep.
And that's Detweiler again as the Wildcat rears its ugly head. He may have picked up a yard on that carry and sets up a 3rd down and 9. And now the guy with the down marker is actually pretty much where he should be.
Yeah, well, we're seeing it where he should be. But, you know, again, he's running right into the teeth of the Huntingdon defense. We saw how good they are against the run last week in Phillipsburg. Dave, with holding them to -1 yard. So tough sledding so far right now for the Scarlet Dragons as they are still deep in their own territory at the 6-yard line in a 3rd and long situation.
Yeah, it's just amazing. Isaiah Reed, a sophomore, the size he is and what he's been able to do so far this season. This time there is a pass play, and it is caught. It is short of 1st down yardage, though. Pass completed to Noah Muthler, and Muthler is taken down at about the 12-yard line, and it's going to be a 4th down and 4. So give him a gain of about 4 on that play, and the first punt of the night from Preston Carstetter, quarterbacking and punting in this case. Right in front of us, Jonathan Price at the 45-yard line. Kick is away, end over end. Bounces once. Price fields it at the 50. Starts toward the end zone. Gets down over the 45 and is tackled nicely. Good special teams tackle. Zachary Parks, although he may have had trouble fielding the kickoff, did a great job tackling Jonathan Price there.
And Dave, the game couldn't have started any better for Huntingdon. Again, you know, holding Central's deep in their own end zone down here, or deep in their own zone. You know, a good punt out to the 50-yard line, a nice return. for Jonathan Price. Nice 8-yard return, and Huntington's going to set up shop at the 42. An excellent field position. Just how you wanted to write the script.
First down and 10. Bearcats' first possession, as Chad alluded to. No score in the football game. Fakes the handoff as Hootie, and there he goes. He's over the 40, the 35. He is down to the 20-yard line and gets over there to about the 19, I think they're going to mark him down at. No, I'm sorry. That'll be the 24-yard line, trying to give him an extra 5. So he picks up
18-yard pickup on that. And again, they're going to key you on Border. So Huntington's able to go ahead and fake that handoff to Ian Border. The whole defense for the Scarlet Dragons went with them, and Andrew Hootie took it right up the middle. So a great play call by Dan Kraft and the offensive team that time.
Bearcats are moving from left to right here in the first quarter. 9.5 left to go in it. Man in motion, Jonathan Price from right to left. The handoff goes to Border, turns it upfield. He's met by a couple of tacklers from Central, and they included Jared Smith in on the stop.
Number 32, Jared Smith.
He ends up picking up about
3
a
yards.
long 3, almost 4, almost got 4. So good gain, first carry of the night for Ian Border.
Yeah, and he ran hard, too. He was able to dip his shoulders there a little bit, Dave.
And it took 2 guys to bring him down.
And it's going to.
You know, everything looks totally normal to me. I've heard a wild rumor about him this week, and I'll get to that in a second. Second down this time. The handoff to Border. He gets down over the 20-yard line to about the 19. So I'll pick up another 3 yards. And let's call that a third down. Well, they marked him back at the 20-yard line. So it's going to be a third down and 5 for the Bearcats. Ball at the 20.
And you're already in Gio's got you field goal range. But I got to believe.
I don't think they're going to want to do that.
No, I believe this is 2-down territory no matter what here.
Third down and 5. Hootie in the shotgun as usual. Flanked to his left by Border. Snap to Hootie, back to pass, looks over. Jarris Warner has to dive to make the catch, did he? It looks like he did,
make
yes.
the catch, and it's right
He's
at
close
the
to first down yardage.
We'll have to see where they put this at.
Yeah.
He might be short. We'll see if they're going to measure it, though, but he is right at the line.
I wouldn't trust any measurement with those guys with the stick.
Well, they're calling fourth down.
They're calling a yard short. Maybe a little bit less than a yard. Fourth down and less than a yard to go, and the Bearcats will go for it on fourth down.
Well, and why not?
Yo, absolutely.
You know what
are you doing? You're handing the ball back to him at the 20.
Yep, I formation.
If you don't do it. Yeah, we got the eye rolling. Here goes Border, and he's got the first down a bit more, too, as he picks up maybe 2-3 yards beyond that. Gets down over the 20-yard line, and they'll mark him down.
Gain 3 yards. First down, Bearcats.
A gain of 3, and they mark him down at the 13. And it is a first down and 10. Red zone stuff for the Bearcats here, trying to get the first score of tonight's game.
And that's a pretty easy call, Dave. Just hand it off to the All-State running back and let him get his 3 yards.
This time up under center, it's Andrew Hootie. Pitches it to Border. Border over the right side. Flag comes in. And Border is stacked up for a loss. Depending on what the penalty is, we'll see how that goes. Don't know if that was a hold called on the
It's coming in late
Bearcats.
It's coming in late from the back, Judge. So my guess is it's going to be a hold. Yep, absolutely, it's a hold.
It was a hold on the Bearcats, so it's okay. It's first down. 7:05, by the way, left to go in the first quarter. No score in the football game. We are at Central High School's football field. It is in Roaring Spring, Pennsylvania. The high school itself is in Martinsburg. So just to give you a little geographical reference as to what's going on. Next week, we're going to play Where's Waldo and try to find the Warren High School football field.
Yes.
Chad says he's already found it.
I have. Google Earth is just a glorious thing.
10-yard penalty, spot foul, first and 20. Hootie in the shotgun, rolls to his left, looks downfield. Oh, my, good defense. And it would appear as though Jake Wagner wants a flag on the play. He's not going to get it.
No, and it's broken up that time by Zachary Parks. But I think what he was thinking is that Parks had his arm on his back a little bit, and Jacob could feel that, but to no avail. It was a great pass break up by Parks, and now it's going to set up second and 20 here at the 23-yard line.
Second down and 20. Bearcats, of course, deep in Central territory, did decide to go for it on 4th down and made it. Now stuttering a little bit after a holding penalty and then that pass incompletion. Hootie in the shotgun, Border to his left, man in motion is Wagner. Hootie back, rush goes by him, throws, a little bit behind his intended receiver, Ryder Kosick. Right around the goal line. If he would have had that on target, Kosick probably would have been able to walk into the end zone. It was good coverage, but...
It was good coverage. It looked like Parks was able to get his hand in there and just kind of slap that away as Kosick was doing a little bit of a slide there to try to make that catch. But you're right. If the ball was thrown just a little bit crisper, I think Kosick's able to come up with that ball. But nonetheless, now it's a 3rd down and 20 at the Scarlet Dragon 23-yard line. So a big play here for Huntington coming up.
6:47 left to go in the first quarter. And a big 3rd down here. Snap to Hootie, rolling to his left, looking downfield. Lets it go toward the end zone. And Jonathan Price is interfered with.
Yep, absolutely. He was roughed up that time, and I think the defensive back is going to take. I think it's going to be a 10-yard penalty or 15-yard penalty and still be 3rd down, as Huntington won't convert a 1st down on this. But nonetheless, you can face guard in high school, but you can't touch them while you're face guarding, and that's what we saw in that far corner, Dave.
So Zachary Parks, I do believe the guilty party there for the Central Scarlet Dragons.
Interference called against the Dragons.
And now the march begins, the march of shame for the Central Scarlet Dragons. And as Chad said, this is going to set up
that's going to be an 11-yard penalty.
3rd down and 9 for Huntington.
He marked that off a lot, so that's an 11-yard penalty coming up.
Half the distance?
I don't know.
I don't know what's up there. We've had some questions about some of the mark-offs here over the course of the season. We're just going to let you know what happened. We're just letting you know what happened as opposed to trying to analyze it, Dave. It's easier that way. Ball at the 11. They need to get down to about the 4-yard line here in order to get the 1st down. Hand off the Border. Tries the left side. Central meets him and stops him well short of the 1st down. So the Bearcats unable to get it into the end zone, and the Scarlet Dragons will take over with the ball at their own 11-yard line.
Yeah, just a 1-yard pickup that time by Porter. And we knew coming into the game that that's exactly what the Scarlet Dragons were going to do, Dave. They were going to stack up against the run, stack the line of scrimmage against the run, and dare Huntington to pass the ball.
Gio Scaccia comes in on 4th down. He's going to try the field goal, and this will be a 33-yard field goal attempt. Or, I'm sorry, make that a 29-yard field goal attempt. The kick is up, and the kick is good. And the Huntingdon Bearcats have taken the lead. Bearcats 3 and Central nothing. 5:54 left to go here in the first quarter. And to, help defer the cost of doing the upcoming Bearcat playoff games, we're asking if you can to send a small donation to Greg Banks, P.O. Box 56, Huntingdon, PA 16652. Help us pay the additional PIAA fees to keep the Bearcat football broadcast going through. That was that little old ox roast coming back at me. Anyway, P.O. Box 56, Huntingdon, PA 16652. Greg Banks is the guy. Help us pay the additional PIAA fees to keep the Bearcat football broadcast going through the playoff part of this particular season on the airnetwork.net and 94.1 FM. Each contribution will be acknowledged throughout the broadcast. Yeah, we're not going to just let that fly by and, write that check right out to the PIAA. We'll let everyone know that you were a part of those upcoming broadcasts, and we hope we have a bunch of them.
Yes, we do. Good defensive effort by both teams here so far in the first quarter as Central able to stymie the Bearcat attack that time and hold them to a field goal despite the great field position Huntington had to start with, starting at the Central 42-yard line.
I sensed a little bit of panic there because of that holding penalty that set them into the 20 yards to gain for a 1st down, and I think they were just working a little too hard to try to make it all up at once, and eventually they settled for what they were able to get. And Border got the football into the middle of the field, setting it up for Gio Scaccia, and he puts it up and through. 3-0, Bearcats lead. Scaccia to kick off. And once again, it's Detweiler and Parks deep for Central. Kick is away toward Parks. He fields it at about the 8-yard line. out over the 15, the 20. Looked like he almost fumbled there near the sideline.
But another great kickoff that time by Gio Scaccia. You know, anytime a high school kid can put it beyond the 10-yard line, Dave, it's really a successful kick. And Gio, being a sophomore, he's consistently done that over the course of the last couple of weeks. Also,
he gives you a couple different varieties as far as the types of kicks.
But it's working.
One of the things I think in this case, definitely trying to kick away from Detweiler. Both of them kicked in the direction of Zachary Parks. And this time, Parks did not have it scoot along the ground and go through his legs and end up back at the 5. Much better starting position for the Scarlet Dragons this time around at their own 22. 1st and 10. Carstetter, the quarterback, in the shotgun. No, I'm sorry. That's another Wildcat, is it not?
Yep, it's a Wildcat.
And now is the ball loose as they bring down Tristan Detweiler.
I think he held on to it.
There was quite a scramble there, generally the kind of thing you see if the ball does come loose, but that was not the case. And he ends up on the positive side of things as he picks up 3 to get out to the 25-yard line and set up a 2nd down and 7.
It's a very familiar formation for Centrals. They ran this a lot with Alex Hohenstein last year, the Wildcat with the running back out there and just kind of setting him free and letting him do what he wants to do. The thing is, he's running into the teeth of the Bearcat defense, and Detweiler was bouncing around like a pinball in there. That's why you kind of thought the ball was loose.
Going with the Wildcat again. Detweiler calling the signals, and he hands it off. Out over the 30 and brought down at about the 32-yard line. That should be good for a 1st down, handing it off that time to Jared Smith. And Smith is able to indeed get a 1st down, 1st and 10, Central ball at the 33-yard line.
And that's what that Wildcat does, is it just gives you a little bit of deception to not know where the ball is going to go. And good job that time by Smith to pick up the 1st down.
1st and 10 for the Scarlet Dragons as they try to work their way up the field. Much better start to this drive than what they had in the previous. And this time it is on the Wildcat. Tristan Detweiler again, trying the right side of the line. Nothing doing over there as the Bearcats swarmed him under for a loss of about 2.
Yeah, and that's a great tackle for loss by Huntington's leading tackler, Ryan Corey. So he's able to drop him for a 2-yard loss that time. Corey, again, like I said, he's the leading tackler. He's only a junior. He will be back next year, and he's having an outstanding season, filling in nicely from graduation last year. People weren't sure what was going to happen with the middle linebacker position. Well, rest assured, it's in great hands with Ryan Corey out there on the field.
Clock rolling, 4:09 left to go here in the 1st quarter, and the Bearcats with the lead 3-0. And once again, it's Detweiler calling the signals. Takes the snap, looks over, thought about throwing, lets it go, intercepted, Ian Border. Border then fumbles the ball after going for about 4 yards, but he does recover the ball right about the 34-yard line of the Central Scarlet Dragons. That was almost one of those, and you see it happen from time to time, where somebody gets happy feet after the interception, and they end up losing control of the football, but Ian was able to get right back on it and recover it. Bearcat football, 1st and 10. We're going to call that the 33-yard line.
Yep, 33-yard line. And the pass rush, Dave, really set that in tone. As Detweiler had he
intended to go to the left, and he just didn't have anything there.
Thrown from his back foot, and that's what causes that. It was a lame duck in the air.
And here's the handoff to Ian Border, once again trying to go up the middle, and I'll tell you what, Central's ready.
Yeah.
And you may end up seeing that I formation pop back up here on the football field tonight for the Bearcats. Ends up being a loss of 2 yards. 2nd and 12 from the 35-yard line of the Central Scarlet Dragons.
And this is one of the things I said at the onset of the game, Dave, that Huntington had to do was control the line of scrimmage. Central is famous for having a great defensive and offensive line throughout the last, 5, 6, 7 years here.
3:10 left to go in the 1st quarter. This time it's Andrew Hootie with the football, and he'll pick up a yard as he gets over the 35, brought down at the 34.
Both offenses struggling early going here. I think we're in for a defensive battle here tonight, Dave.
Well, we talked about it with Coach Hootie about the battle in the trenches, as you correctly pointed out. And it's going to be up to the Bearcats to win that battle, or at least that's the way things are looking early on. 3rd down and a long 11 here for the Bearcats. Let's see what kind of a pass play they might dial up. I have to tell you folks about the little drill the receivers were doing before the game. Here's the throw across the middle, low again from Andrew Hootie, and incomplete, intended for Ryder Kosick. And Ryder, not a guy's name that we've called a lot on offense, but he's been a big part of it here early on. That would normally be where we'd expect to see Jarris Warner.
Yeah.
And Ryder Kosick getting the calls tonight.
And this is an interesting call here coming up on 4th down, because you're kind of in no man's land here at the 34-yard line. Right. Do you punt here? Do you go for it? It's 4th and 11, at the 34-yard line. This is kind of one of those ones that you're just sitting back thinking, I'm not sure, and it looks like they're going to go for it.
I don't know. I'd be more inclined to punt.
I would
at
too.
This point.
I think I'd put them deep.
But that is not, well.
Wildcat with Border.
Yeah, Wildcat, Border alone in the backfield. There's the snap, and a timeout, I think, is called.
Timeout called by Huntingdon.
It's called by the Bearcats.
Yep.
I guess maybe they were just setting up to maybe see if they could draw Central offside. Not that would have done a lot, because that only gets you 5 yards.
Yeah, this is just one of those in high school football. This is one of those in between, zones where you just think, what can I do here? It's a little bit too long for a field goal. It almost seems like it's a little bit too short to punt. But at 4th and 11, I think it's the right thing to do. I honestly think they should line up and punt this football.
I am in total agreement with you. Hey, you know what's coming up on Monday? Isn't Monday the big parade?
Monday
the big Halloween parade?
Monday is the big Halloween parade in Huntingdon.
And it's also trick-or-treat night coming up on Wednesday. Keep that in mind.
Yes. Myself and Wonder Woman will be traipsing through the streets of Smithfield.
All right.
So if you see me with Wonder Woman, that'll be an interesting sight.
All right. Once again, we have the Halloween parade coming up Monday night. What that does mean, Monday night Sports Talk is going to move to Tuesday night at 7 o'clock on the airnetwork.net and 94.1 FM in Huntingdon. Nice to be joined by, I guess you could call him the voice of Bald Eagle area sports, in Steve Miller on last week's show. All right, the Bearcats seriously going for it. Hootie, back to pass on 4th down, looking deep downfield. He's going to be sacked. Did a pump fake and did not have the time to do that pump fake as the pocket collapsed on him. And the next thing he knew, Andrew Hootie was sitting on the ground here in Roaring Spring.
Yeah, and that's what concerns me about tonight's game is, are we going to, is Huntingdon going to have time to be able to set up and throw like they have? Because, again, this defense is for Central is very, very good. It's very active. They like to apply pressure, and we just saw that on that 4th down. I still think punting was the right decision to make there to try to pin them back. Even if you punt the ball to the end zone, you're giving it to them on the 20.
One of the things you're probably going to have to look at is to get those quick patterns out there and forget about that long ball stuff. And besides that, we've seen so many pass completions by the Bearcats that may be 10 yards in the air but end up being 20. There's a fumble again. The Bearcats had it for a second, lost it, and got it back.
Yep.
Bearcat football at the 49-yard line of Central, as popping up off the ground with the football is Drew Weglars, I believe.
Yes, it was Drew Weglars with the recovery. I didn't see who got the strip on that, but as the fullback, Jared Smith, was working his way through there, Huntington just reached right in there and grabbed that football and ripped it right out. This is an opportunistic defense. Again, they coming in, they were +8 in the turnover ratio for turnover ratio. Right now, they're sitting at +10.
A good, healthy admonishment being yelled out from the sideline to Jared Smith about making sure you got everything wrapped around that football. Ben Briggs in motion here. Warner, Wagner, and Price, the receivers. The pass is going to go to Warner a little bit behind him. He reaches back, makes the catch, and is ripped down immediately. But that's the kind of gain that the Bearcats are going to need to be having here. It's going to be one of those games, I think, Chad, where the pass sets up the run. And in this case, you're set with a 2nd down and 3 with the ball at about the 42-yard line. So let's see if that's the way they play it.
Right, and I agree, and that's a great route. I think these inside slants by the Huntington receivers are going to be key. It's there. The passing zone, the passing lanes are there for Hootie to hit, so long as the receivers are able to go ahead and grab that ball.
Andrew Miller and Jonathan Price to our side. Man in motion, jet sweep stuff as he hands it off to Jacob Wagner, turns it upfield, runs out of room, and basically may have just gotten back to the line of scrimmage on that play.
He might have lost.
Came to the short side of the field. That's another tough thing that you run into on that particular play because they're on the near hash with the football right now, and he just flat out ran out of room. I've seen him be able to stretch that out and then make that big cut up field. Didn't have the room that time around, and it's a no-gainer and a 3rd down and 3.
It's a different opponent on the other side of the line of scrimmage, too, tonight. This is a very seasoned Central group. Again, the reigning Mountain League champions, District 6 champions, and made it all the way to the District 6 AAA semifinals last year.
50 seconds left to go. First quarter. Bearcats lead 3-0. Hand off the border. Heading toward the first down marker, has it more. He's going to get down over the 35 to about the 34 as he was able to drag 3 Scarlet Dragons defenders with him, and he picks up the first down. 1st and 10 at Central's 34, and that is an encouraging thing to see.
Well, he ran hard. He knew he was smelling that first down the whole time. He knows he's got to put this offense on his back right now and go with it. As the in-border goes tonight, so is the Huntington offense. 6 carries for 14 yards for the All-State running back.
Over left tackle this time to get that first down, and now in about the middle of the field setup, here's Hootie on the quarterback keep, and he's going to pick up about 5 yards and be brought down at about the 30-yard line. Probably officially 4-yard gain to set up a 2nd down and 6.
You always got to wait till they spot
and bring an end to this first quarter. So the clock ticking down. The Bearcats getting a little bit of a wake-up call here at Roaring Spring against the Central Scarlet Dragons. We have 1 quarter in the books, and the score, Bearcats 3, Central nothing. Back with more after this timeout on the airnetwork.net and 94.1 FM in Huntingdon. Thanks for tuning in on this beautiful Friday night.
Call Austin Smith Heating and Plumbing for affordable heating, plumbing, and drain cleaning services in Huntingdon. Count on 12 years of ensured excellent service when it comes to heating, plumbing, ventilation, and drain cleaning. Call Austin Smith Heating and Plumbing, available evenings and weekends at an affordable rate. Call 814-506-5128. That's 506-5128 for Austin Smith Heating and Plumbing in Huntingdon.
Sometimes facts are hard to face. Statistics show that obesity is a problem in the United States, and it's not getting any better. At Simone Family Chiropractic, we understand this problem. We also know that obesity leads to very serious health problems later in life. There is a way to cleanse your body and get back to optimum health. It is called the Doctor-Supervised ChiroThin System, and it teaches you how and what to eat in the real world. Call us at Simone Family Chiropractic at 814-643-2616, or stop in and see us at 613 Washington Street in Huntingdon, across from All American Pizza, or find us on Facebook.
Hi, I'm Andrew Finkel. You're listening to the Huntingdon Bearcats on the airnetwork.net.
Welcome back to Roaring Spring, where fortunately we are not downwind of the paper mill.
No, we're not.
And so we're not getting to experience that salacious odor that comes off of any paper mill in America. So what happens when you get wood wet? It doesn't smell good. By the way, I want to thank Jeff Speck for tuning in tonight. Greg Banks letting us know that he's listening on the airnetwork.net. It's a good thing, Jeff, because then you got to know what we're doing here on the Air Network so that you can then host the parade. Yeah, that's going to be Jeff's job on Monday. He'll be bringing you the updates from the parade beginning at 7 o'clock. Jeff is going to mingle with the folks in the crowd and the parade participants, describing all the activities along the parade route. Huntingdon's Halloween Parade, Monday night, 7 to 9 on the airnetwork.net and 94.1 FM in Huntingdon.
Quick look at the first quarter there, Dave. Huntington with 44 total yards of offense, Central with 20. So really, as we described, a defensive game so far, a defensive chess match so far here in the first quarter.
I think the Bearcats have had just a little bit of the better of it.
Yep. It's field position. Huntington has really dominated field position here in the first quarter, and all stemmed from the opening kickoff when Gio was able to plant that sucker all the way down to the 5-yard line on that little skitter kickoff that he has at Central misplayed.
And, of course, we're going to have a little bit of a delay here because of television. And now we're set to go. TV, it's great when it happens, but boy, does it change the complexion of a football game. Andrew Hootie out of the shotgun, throwing deep downfield, and the pass is incomplete, throwing into double coverage intended for Jonathan Price, and it ends up being incomplete. Zachary Parks, one of the Scarlet Dragons, in the coverage there.
Well, yeah, Parks, and then it looked like Detweiler was the deep guy, the deep defensive back that time. But
yes,
Andrew,
he was.
Andrew knows he's going to have to release the ball fast. He's not going to be able to hold on to it, and he has to get rid of the ball quick and kind of find out who that hot read is going to be. That time he decided to go to Price in the far right corner, just overthrew him a little bit, and that's going to set up an all-important 3rd down and 6 here.
3rd and 6, the ball near the 30-yard line, 11:54 left to go. Clock stopped on the incompletion. It's Andrew Hootie, and he's going to run the ball. He tries the right side of the line, and he's yanked down short of the 30-yard line. Will probably lose a yard on that carry to set up a 4th down and a 7 this time around. And let's see, similar position to what the Bearcats had it before when they went for it on 4th down and were unsuccessful. Let's see if they just decide to kick it away.
I see some different personnel coming in
Gio
here,
Scotch is going to try a field goal.
Well,
a 40, see, that'll be about a 49-yard field goal from Gio Scotcha. Now, we told you he can hit him from this distance.
Be careful. He's got to get this out of here because they can return this ball.
Headed toward the goalpost. Is going to be short. Had the accuracy, was about 5 yards short. And so the Central Scarlet Dragons will get the football after the missed field goal attempt. 3-0. Still the Bearcats with the lead here in the 2nd quarter. Central Scarlet Dragons are dressed in, I guess, their home gray tops, white numbers on the back, and trimmed in red. And all I can say is thank God it's not raining or muddy, because we would not have a frickin' clue.
It would be very difficult, but an impressive-looking uniform nonetheless.
Pretty doesn't mean a lot for broadcasters.
No, it does not. You're right. You're right.
It's not quite Oregon Duck ugly, but it's not pretty either. And by the way, Chad and I were talking before the game. Who was in charge of those Oakland Raiders uniforms last night?
They weren't thinking of people like us, that's for sure.
Man, that was just one of the most unbelievable things I saw. And, of course, because of TV, there is a timeout, so that gives us a chance to talk to you about what's coming up on the Air Network tomorrow. The Pitt Panthers are headed to Durham, North Carolina. Well, they're there. Let's just put that to rest. They'll take on the Duke Blue Devils. It's another tough ACC battle as the Panthers trying to find their identity in 2017. The Air Network and 94.1 FM will have live coverage pregame around noon after the rebroadcast of tonight's Bearcat game. Kickoff at 12:20 from the Pitt IMG Sports Network. This time it's quarterback actually handing the ball off. Carstetter gets the snap. First time we've seen a non-Wildcat move by Central. And I think he went to Smith there.
It did. It went to Smith, and he's going to lose about 3 yards on this, back to the 17-yard line. So, again, the defenses are really flexing their muscles here in the early going, Dave.
Certainly make the coaches think twice about the running games, as it's not been easy sledding for either one of these two teams.
Still waiting to see
one
Central,
really great carry there by Smith.
That's been about it.
And that's, yeah, absolutely. Back to pass, Carstetter lets it go. It's going to be complete. No, dropped it, incomplete.
Yep.
Didn't hold on to it long enough as the pass went to the far side of the field, intended for Zachary. It was Detweiler over on that side.
And even at that, it was only going to be a meager 5-yard pickup. So, again, the defenses are really, really stepping it up here tonight. I'm waiting to see if Central starts to use the tight end. I've seen them use Austin Garner in a big seam pass as he is able to go ahead and break down the middle. We might see that coming up now. What's this? Little straight line trickeration.
Yes, muddle huddle, all kinds of guys out in the formation, and a flag comes in. As I don't think Central exactly, it was their trickeration. I don't know that they knew what they were doing.
Trickerated themselves.
Yes, they certainly did. When you see numbers like 79 and it's our other person out here on the near side of the field. Now, 44 you would expect, of course,
right,
with Austin Garner being over there. But, and I don't know that Isaiah Frederick is an offensive lineman, and he was over in the quote-unquote pattern. So it's illegal procedure against the Central Scarlet Dragons. And I imagine they might have learned their lesson on that one. So it's a 5-yard penalty, and it sets up a 3rd down and 18. That's good stuff, though, for the Bearcats as they get them deeper back in their territory. See what they opt for this time around. It is Carstetter. He lets go of the pass. It is complete. Gain up to over the 20, to about the 25, and hit out of bounds. And the flag comes in, and the Bearcats went from being able to turn that over to giving a first down to the Scarlet Dragons. Did he complete that one to Smith?
Yeah, it was to Smith. It was a 13-yard pickup, but they're going to get more because of the penalty here. Late hit. Yep.
Got out to the 24-yard line, going out of bounds, and then you tack on the personal foul after that, and it is marked at the 35-yard line. 1st and 10 for Central, and we'll see if that kind of jump starts their offense here. Chain gang a little bit behind on what is going on, just finally getting set up on the far side of the field.
Those are the
so the umpire stands over the football and makes sure they don't start.
Those are the types of penalties you can't make in a tight football game like this, Dave.
Handoff to Smith. Smith gets stopped at about the 39-yard line. It'll be a gain of 4. And now Central is starting to plead every play that there's something wrong that the Bearcats are doing, and that is just not going to be the case. That was actually a handoff to McConaughey, and Luke McConaughey picks up 4, and now Smith is back in the backfield as he comes in from the sideline. Caught a breather after catching that pass and getting waylaid out of bounds. 2nd down and 6. Up under center is the quarterback, Carstetter. And he hands the ball off and quickly met at the line that time.
It's going to be 2
Detweiler
yards.
might have picked up 2 as they mark him at the 41, and that's going to set up a 3rd down. And if it's 4, that's some new definition of 4 that I'm unfamiliar with. You could say long 4. I mean, if you look at it across the field, of course, we've already made the statement that you can't really trust where the chain gang has set things up. It looks like 3rd and 5 to me, but that's just me. Into shotgun, it is Preston Carstetter. Carstetter steps back to pass, pumps once, lets it go down the sideline, and intercepted. No, Jarris Warner was the guy that was going to come down with the football. The pass was intended for Detweiler, but Warner had the position on it, almost picked up an interception, but it is an incompletion and a 4th down and 5.
Yeah, and what you saw, the receiver did a stop and go there, Dave, as he did a little stutter step out here and then tried to go ahead and bust it down the sidelines. Warner was right with him, toe for toe, and did a great job, did what all good defensive backs have to do, and turn and look for the ball, and he almost came down with the interception that time.
He was in better position to receive it than the receiver was.
No doubt.
And here goes the punt. Carstetter hits a boomer. Picked up at the 25 by Price. Spins out of one tackle. Tries to spin out of another one. He's not going to be able to pull that off, and he gets out to about the 27-yard line, and the Bearcats will pick up from there. So it is a 1st and 10 for the Bearcats with the ball at the 27 of Huntingdon. Bearcats leading by a score of 3-0. 8:40 left to go here in the first half. Low-scoring football game as the battle in the trenches continues on. And you wonder how this plays out over the course of the game.
Absolutely. And
I know the Bearcats are geared for a good long stretch of playing. I mean, these young men have a lot of ability to stick with it for the long haul. Man in motion this time, Wagner. Rolling to his left this time. Hootie escapes an attempted sack, and the pass was intended for Jonathan Price. Surprisingly, went through his hands, and he's unable to come down with him. One of the things I was going to talk about, Chad, that I didn't, was the receivers here in the pregame were doing their Odell Beckham Jr. drill as we had Nick Troha throwing passes to the guys right at the sideline, and they were trying to make one-handed catches then and pull the ball in.
Well, he went ahead and make a one-handed catch that time, too. I think you'll find that Parks was able to go ahead and get a little bit of a tip on that ball, which probably deflected just enough for Price not to be able to haul it in. 2nd
down and 10. Wagner in motion. It's going to be Hootie keeping the football. spins, and he picks up a couple, gets out to about the 28-yard line maybe, which would be a gain of 1. So it'll be a 3rd down and 9.
Tough sledding for the Bearcat offense tonight.
Well, certainly the trickeration with Hootie carrying the football has not worked to this point, and dare I say, is it time for the old I formation on as many plays as you want to run it for?
It very well might be. Very well might be.
3 receivers wide to the left, and it's Warner, Wagner, who's in motion, by the way, and Price. So you still have Warner and Price over here on this side. Pass toward the sideline intended for Price, who went out, did a button hook at about midfield, turned back around and headed for the sideline. And the pass goes incomplete, a little high and wide for Jonathan Price, and it's a 3 and out for the Bearcats.
Price held to no catches so far through a quarter and a half of play, and credit the Central secondary, Dave. They are doing a great job covering these receivers for the Bearcats. As Andrew Hootie's trying to drop passes in behind the defensive backs where his receivers are at.
Late substitution in for Central. He does get in time. That hits off of one of the Central players in midfield on the return, but it's recovered by the Scarlet Dragons, and they get the ball back to the 49-yard line. Back deep, it was Tristan Detweiler, but it bounced off the back of, I'm not sure which number that was, right around midfield, and the Bearcats tried to get back again on top of it, but they were unable to do so, and it'll be 1st and 10, Scarlet Dragons ball at their own 49-yard line.
Well, what ended up being a really poor punt from Andrew Hootie is the punt looked like it went off the side of his foot and just kind of, had a very low trajectory, hit off of the back of a Central Scarlet Dragon, almost became very optimistic for the Bearcats, but Detterline able to go ahead and recover that football and set up Central in really good field position here at their own 49-yard line.
There was a foul called on the play against the Bearcats, and it was declined by Central. They like the idea of having the ball at almost midfield. And now everything stops down. Yes, they're looking down here. Here's the guy that's going to tell you when they're going to start. That'll be your on-field TV director. And that gives us a chance to remind you, Trick or Treat Night in the borough of Huntingdon is coming up Wednesday night, October 25th, the airnetwork.net and 94.1 FM. Encourage you to go out there, get some candy, keep the porch lights on from 6 to 8. And drivers, if you happen to be out on Wednesday night, be careful. The little trick-or-treaters, ghouls and goblins, will be out there doing their thing on Wednesday night during Trick or Treat Night in Huntingdon Borough. It's been all tricks, no treats so far in this football game tonight.
That's exactly right. If you're on defense, if you like watching a good defensive football game, that's what you're here. That's what you're seeing tonight.
1st down and 10. Central ready to go. And here is the handoff, and it goes once again to Detweiler. He tries the right side of the line, and he ends up pretty successful, picks up about 4 down to the Bearcats' 47-yard line, and it'll be 2nd and 6.
You just wonder, Dave, which one of these offenses is going to break through first. And you kind of got the feeling that first touchdown is going to be very, very important for momentum.
And I'll tell you what, it may be the kind of thing where Central's kicking themselves because they won the toss and elected to receive to start the game. Here's a lateral pass and some trickeration, and there it is. There's your first score of the game, a pass completion from Noah Muthler to Brady Bellotto. Lateral pass went from Carstetter.
Well, it's going to take something like that, Dave. The regular old conventional offenses have not worked so far. So it's going to take, what they call in Pittsburgh gadget plays, and that's what you saw there as a pass back to Muthler. Muthler able to hit Bellotto, who was wide open by 20 yards.
And by the way, it was a nice pass by Muthler. He led him perfectly.
Yep.
He did not have to wait on the football. He was able to continue down the field. Point after attempt from Gerald Masdal. Left-footed kicker, plenty of height, plenty of distance, and plenty of accuracy. It is up and good, and it makes the score Central 7 and the Bearcats 3. A nice drive by Central as they started at their own 49-yard line. And, of course, it's one big play that does it. But like Chad said, when you see things kind of stuttering out there, that's probably going to be the type of thing you need to get your team off and running. Let's see if the Bearcats have some trickeration up their sleeve as they'll get the football here on the kickoff. And by the way, reminding you folks that we can use your help to defray the cost of the upcoming Bearcat playoff games. Pretty big fees that they charge us by the PAAA. And if you want us to be able to pay those fees and continue the broadcast, send a donation to Greg Banks, P.O. Box 56, Huntingdon, PA, 16652. That'll help us pay the PIAA fees, and we'll keep the Bearcat football broadcast going then through the playoffs on the airnetwork.net and 94.1 FM, Community FM in Huntingdon. Every contribution, by the way, will be acknowledged throughout the broadcast. We have suddenly turned into a 501c3.
Yeah. Somewhere Coach Bill Cower smiling on one of those plays. You remember back whenever, Hines Ward and Antoine Randall were able to, come up with how many gadget plays, including that one in the Super Bowl. And that's, Dave, again, the conventional offenses that we have seen so far, or the offenses that both these teams are used to running, just isn't getting the job done. You're going to have to resort to something different that the other team hasn't seen. And that's exactly what we saw that time out of Central as Muthler completed that pass to Bellata, who was wide open for the touchdown.
6:49 left to go in the second quarter. And, of course, that would be the first half. Teeing the football up is Preston Carstetter as he's serving triple duty. Here's a little worm burner, and it's fielded right at the 42-yard line, and it bounced off of Warren Shope. And Shope falls on it immediately.
And that kickoff shows you two things. One, they're not going to kick deep to Huntington and put it into the hands of the dangerous return men that they have. Price and Wagner both. They're not going to do that. Two, it's going to show you that they have great confidence in their defense to go ahead and hit a squib kick for, 24, 25 yards and say, hey, guess what? I think we can play defense good enough to make sure that this ball and this possession that you guys have in good field position doesn't mean a thing.
They would be led to believe that, but it's up to the Bearcats to prove them wrong.
That's right.
And this hopefully will be the one to do it, starting in great field position at their own 42. Fakes the handoff to Border, throws, and once again Ryder Kosick, the intended receiver, and the pass goes incomplete. Andrew threw it right on the numbers where you want him to throw it, and it kind of bounced off the forearm of Ryder Kosick and incomplete.
Well, they're doing a good job of blanket coverage with Price. They're doubling up on him over here on the left-hand side, so it's leaving another receiver open. That time it was Kosick. He wasn't able to come up with the catch. So, now they bring in Andrew Miller, who's a little bit more sure-handed from what we've seen. He steps in here. He's got 4 catches on here, and a couple of them were for big yardage.
One of the games we're keeping an eye on, Bishop Guilfoyle and Johnstown, the Marauders lead the Trojans by a score of 10-0. Here's a handoff to Ian Border. He gets out near midfield before he's eventually taken down. So the Bearcats getting a little success with the running game there. I'll tell you, one guy goes home with a dirty uniform, whether it's raining or not, is Ian Border.
Yeah, absolutely.
He is working all the time.
And he just lowered the shoulder there on a Central Scarlet Dragon defender to be able to pick up 8 yards here and set up a 3rd and short for the Bearcats. It's another important 3rd down here in the second quarter, Dave.
Big 3rd down.
Big 3rd down.
Down to 6 minutes left to go in the first half. That is a lot of time, especially if you draw up the right kind of trickeration, which Central did last time around. Hootie fakes the handoff and tries to run, gets up to the midfield marker, and a great tackle wrapped up by Benjamin Kurtz at the ankles, and he just did not let go. And you got to love it when you see that, because, and this is one of the things, I've heard a lot of talk this week, Chad, about the Nittany Lions and how much better they have been at tackling this year.
Oh, yeah, and it shows.
Yeah.
I mean, their defense is really what you're going to talk about. You talk going into the season, you talk about their offense. Their defense is the one that has showed up and just played outstanding football. That's the reason that team's number 2 in the country.
What a great tackle there. No gain in the play, and a 4th down and 2, and the Bearcats come out, get into a formation, and they end up calling the timeout. So I'm not sure what Coach Hootie is after with these particular adventures.
It's an interesting call.
Because he never even gets the team up and set at the line.
No.
And he calls the timeout. I haven't been watching the play clock, so I don't know how far down it is at that point. But nobody's set, neither Central or Huntingdon are set, and then the timeout is called. So, don't know.
No, and I don't either. And this is an interesting call if you are truly going to go for it on fourth down here, having just given up a 47-yard touchdown, and you're at midfield. I would think you'd want to try and punt this ball away unless there's something wrong with Andrew. You don't have any confidence in your punting game. But, I mean, he's averaging close 36, 37 yards per punt on the season. So really not sure why you would want to go for it here. But we'll see whenever they break the huddle over there on the far sideline what they're truly going to set up and do.
5:20 left to go in the first half. 7-3 Central with a lead over Huntingdon. Bearcats coming in with a mark of 8-0, and the Scarlet Dragons at 5-3. Big game for both teams. You know, and certainly for Huntingdon, trying to stop the 6-game losing streak to Central.
Absolutely. And, you know, one of the things that somebody had said is, Chad, what do you think of this game? What's your feel of this game? I can always say one thing. This field is where good teams come to die. They just do. Central is always up and always defends home field very, very well. And they are lining up to go for it.
Hootie is up under center with 2 yards to gain. I formation.
9 men in the box.
Finkel leads the way, and there goes Ian Border for a first down for the Bearcats. No ifs, ands, or buts about that.
And a deep sigh of relief from the whole entire Bearcat contingent on the far sideline as Ian's able to pick up, about 6 yards on that carry.
We'll see if the Bearcats stick with that I formation. No, wait. Finkel is going to stay out there.
The interesting thing about that, Dave, is whenever you put 9 men in the box like that, you've only got one guy deep. So if Border's able to go ahead and break through that, you're going to line up Border with a defensive back, and I'll take those odds every single time. It was almost like a John Riggins play we saw back in Super Bowl 17, that 70 chip where he busted it off the left-hand side. Very close to breaking at that time was Ian.
Digging deep into the mental archives.
Digging deep. Remember that 70 chip and Riggins. Look it up.
Fake the handoff to Border and throwing the pass intended for Andrew Miller into triple coverage that time. Andrew Hootie. And it is too tall for Miller, and it is incomplete. Second down and 10.
And this Central Scarlet Dragon defense, specifically the secondary and the linebackers, are doing a great job in pass coverage.
I'll tell you what, that time, we know about Price and Wagner, and they were at the far side of the field on the right side on that formation. Miller on the near side here. And you would think that their attention would be over on Price and Wagner, but it ended up he was in triple coverage, Andrew Miller in that case. Second down and 10. Snap to Hootie. He's going to run again and get nothing. He's going to lose a yard back to the 45-yard line of scrimmage at the 44. And it's going to bring up a third down and 11. And I have no idea why the insistence that play is going to work, because I've not seen any indication thus far that it will.
The first play of the game went for 18 yards. The rest of them have won, -4, 4 yards, 1, 0, and -1. So Andrew with 19 yards rushing. But again, to your point, Dave, besides the one play, that play has not gone anywhere this evening.
It is not a momentum builder in tonight's game, that's for sure.
Huntington has 0 for 6 right now on third downs.
And this is third down and 11. Back to pass is Hootie. He's going to be sacked. Well, no, he lets it go, and it is incomplete. We don't see an intentional grounding. He was in the grasp.
I don't know if they call that in high school.
No, they don't, but if you're familiar with the NFL, that play would have been dead. It would have been a major loss of yardage for the Bearcats. Hootie left it go. It falls incomplete, and it brings up fourth down and 11. And a punt coming from, or are we going to go Wildcat here?
No, he's going to punt this.
Yeah, he is going to punt it.
Yep.
So Andrew Hootie is going to get a foot into one here. 4:01 left to go in the first half. 7-3 Central with the lead. Kick is away toward the sideline. Twisting. Hits at the 15. Bounces back, that is, toward the middle of the field. It's covered by Jacob Wagner, and there's a flag at about the 46-yard line. Let's see if the Scarlet Dragons moved offside. No, it's a false start against the Bearcats. And let's see if they'll make him kick again. I would think they would.
I would think so, too.
Because the ball is down at the 16-yard line, and I'd like a little better field position if I were the coach.
Or just to see what can happen, because anything can happen on special teams.
And it does not look like they're going to have him kick it again. They're going to take it where it landed at the 16.
That's a head-scratcher.
Yeah, that is, for sure.
I don't know that I understand that. Why wouldn't you make them go 5 yards back and re-kick it?
I don't know. Why would you keep handing the ball off to Hootie?
I don't know.
Just kidding, Coach.
A lot of strange things happening here this evening.
3:52 left to go in the first half. 7-3 Central with the lead and the football at their own 16. Carstetter takes the snap, hands off to Smith. No, that's not Smith. Once again, hands off to Luke McConaughey, who gets out at the over the 20-yard line and is eventually brought down at the 21. A gain of 5, and that's a nice first down rush. You were picking up 5. That's some pretty good stuff.
Yep.
3:31 left to go. 2nd and 5. And the Bearcat defense has been stingy. They gave up a touchdown on a razzle-dazzle play on a lateral from the quarterback to one of his favorite receivers and then to somebody who had not been targeted in the game, Brady Bellotto, who ended up scoring. Running play this time, and wrapped up quickly is Tristan Detweiler for a loss of 1, depending on where they mark it. Yeah, it is going to be a loss of 1. And that is going to set up a 3rd down and 6. So a little bit of a moral victory for the Bearcat defense.
And Detweiler coming in being the leading receiver for Central, or leading rusher for Central, 7 carries, 10 yards on the night. So trying to run the football tonight has just been basically abysmal for both teams.
Problematic, as they say.
I like the word abysmal, though. Not bad.
That's because you watched the movie The Abyss. There is a timeout called by Central this time around, so this will give the TV guys they're real happy about that. They're salivating. And the field director is out on the field. It gives us a chance to talk to you about a couple of things coming up. I want to let you know that we are covering, well, when I say we, I just mean the network. I will not be there. It's going to be Jeff Speck bringing you all the action of the Huntingdon Halloween Parade. Monday night beginning at 7. He'll be there from 7 to 9 talking with the folks in the crowd and the parade participants, describing all the activities along the parade route. Jeff's going to have fun. Hopefully you'll have fun listening in too. The Huntingdon Halloween Parade, Monday night 7 to 9 on the airnetwork.net and Community FM 94.1 in Huntingdon. So we have the TV crew here, lots of cameras set up. I know Greg Banks would be somewhat jealous of the amount of equipment that they brought to this game. Because, Greg, I mean, they got all kinds of cameras all over the place.
They got all kinds of banners sitting across here, too. Good thing is ours is proudly displayed out here, and we actually even had a lady taking a picture of it.
Yeah, we had a banner that had a picture taken of it.
Yes.
She said she was putting that on her Facebook page so that others would tune into the airnetwork.net and certainly listen to tonight's game. If you want to drop by our Facebook page and let Greg Banks know that you're listening tonight, do that. We'll talk about you on the air. We're not proud. We're looking for filler material anywhere we can get it. 2:34 left to go, 7-3, and a quickly moving first half because a lot of this has been on the ground. Neither team has, with the exception of that one trick play, done a lot with passing tonight. Big 3rd down. Let's see if the Bearcat defense can hold them down. Carstetter is back to pass, fakes, throws, covered well, but completing the pass. Jacob Wagner was right there, but Detweiler comes down with a football, and it is a big first down out to the 47-yard line for the Central Scarlet Dragons.
Big 27-yard completion that time. Again, it's going to be putting the ball up in the air and seeing what you can do with it, and Detweiler did a good job of going ahead and getting that jump ball and bringing it down for the first down.
I'll tell you what, you can't get better coverage than Wagner had.
Nope,
he was right there, like a glove. Turns around, hands off. Detweiler gets nothing this time. As a matter of fact, he's going to lose a yard, I think, when all is said and done. So a loss of 1 in the play and a 2nd down and 9 as rushing the football is not on anybody's plate.
No, and I wouldn't be surprised to see Central start to throw the ball a little bit more. That's where some teams have had some success against Huntington, was throwing the ball. Now, again, it's because they had no success running the football, but I wouldn't be surprised to see them put it up here a little bit more often.
In the shotgun, it's Carstetter. He is back to pass, looks over the middle of the field, and And they're going to throw a flag. Finkel came in. The pass intended for Austin Garner. And timing is everything. And unfortunately, Andrew Finkel hit him right before the football got there.
And it was instantaneous. It was actually good coverage. He's able to go ahead around the back and break up that football from him catching it. But he got there just a little bit too early, so it'll be pass interference against Huntingdon. And I don't think it'll be a first down. I think it's going to be short. Should be short. Should be a yard short.
Yeah.
Oh,
whoa.
He's going to go the 15-yard variety here. So
the full.
Who knows?
Well, I don't know.
We're not.
It's 14 where he marked it down at the boot. So once again, we've commented on this over the course. Maybe, you know what, Chad? Maybe if they had the high school teams put the hash marks on the field, this would be mathematically much easier to figure out.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Yeah, I agree.
Just saying.
But we're done trying to figure it out.
Yeah, 1st and 10, 39-yard line. Go figure. We haven't figured. Back to passes, Carstetter. The lefty lets it go down the sideline. This is intercepted by Jarris Warner. No, out of bounds. Warner had it. He was the guy, he was the player on the field that had the best opportunity to come down with the football, and the intended receiver for the Scarlet Dragons is down and injured, pops his helmet off, and leans back.
No, that's never a good sign.
On the field. And quickly, the athletic director and trainer makes her way out there. Talk about your double duty. Yeah, join the wonderful world of athletics in high school, yes, where you get to not only be the athletic director, everyone thinks, wow, that's a nice title, you know. I get all kinds of neat things. Stacy Custer has found out, hey, Stacy, while you're the AD, you also get to be the trainer.
Double duty.
Well, popping up quickly and heading toward the sideline, which would tend to lead you to believe that maybe that was just a momentary cramp of some sort. It's Tristan Detweiler as he's back over on the sideline. His teammates huddled up right in front of us. I would imagine, did TV take? No, I don't see the director out on the field. So it's going to be a 2nd down and 10. And side judge goes over and tries to hustle up the Central Scarlet Dragons. 1:31 left to go on that pass incompletion, the clock stopping. Bearcats trailing by a score of 7-3. And once again, the Bearcats will get the football to start the second half.
Yeah, and they want to make sure that they don't let Central score in this 1 minute and 31 seconds either, because right now the Huntington offense really is just having a grave amount of trouble getting any type of footing against the Scarlet Dragon defense.
2nd down and 10. See if the Bearcats can come down with an INT maybe here. And this time, throwing the football, it's Noah Muthler, and catching the football and then fumbling, but recovered by Central short of 1st down yardage. The pass was complete to Austin Garner. Garner then fumbled the football, and it was eventually recovered by, was that Carstetter that came up with it?
Sure was.
So you had all kinds of player switches going on there, and it ends up being the designated quarterback, Carstetter, who ends up recovering the fumble after a half-decent gain by Garner.
Yeah, about a 5-yard gain by Garner, but again, you know, negated here by the fumble, so it'll set up a 3rd and long situation for Central.
3rd and 7, the ball placed down at the 36-yard line. They need to get down to the 29 for the 1st down. 1:18 left to go in the first half. 7-3. It is Central with the lead over the Bearcats.
All right, talk about tough sledding for the Bearcats here. They're going to have. We'll see what second half adjustments they make. Border 8 carries, 28 yards so far here in the first half. Andrew Hootie 7 carries for 19 yards, and then in the passing game, which is really, I think, where the Central defense is really shined here tonight. Huntington is 2 of 11 for 12 yards. Both those catches going to Jarris Warner. Price, no touches so far in the first half.
That's big.
No touches.
That is huge, as it's been said by certain people of offices around the country. Handoff this time goes to Jared Smith. Smith will get down near the 30-yard line, but not enough for a 1st down, so it'll bring up a 4th down and a long one at this particular point. They mark it just shy of the 30-yard line. They need to get to the 29, and they, of course, are going to go for it here. as the clock rolling down, 50 seconds left to go in the first half. Central trying to put some points up before the half comes to an end, leading 7-3. Handoff this time, and stacked up immediately is Luke McConaughey, and he will gain no yards as he hit the line of scrimmage, and that was it. So the Bearcat defense holds. The offense does not have a lot of time. I've been complimentary about clock management by the Bearcats at the end of the first half. And 41 seconds is a reasonable amount of time, but here's what you got to keep in mind. We only have one timeout left. So if you're going to try to get it deep down the field, you got to be doing sideline patterns as far as your passes go. And the one thing you don't want to do, once again, it's all about momentum going into halftime. You don't want to chunk one up for an interception either. Ball placed right at midfield, coming over here to the near sideline. It is Jake Wagner. And back to pass. It's Hootie. Spins away from a near sack. Rolling to his left, lets it go. Price was the intended receiver, could not come up with it. Price wanted a flag on Parks. He's not going to get it. Incomplete pass and 2nd down and 10.
And Parks is doing something that no defensive back has done this year.
Shut down Jonathan Price.
Shut down Jonathan Price. Right now it's Parks Island out there, just like Revis Island in the NFL. It's Parks Island out there. Price held to 0 catches in this first half. I can't underestimate how important that is because he is vital to the Bearcat offense.
Obviously, the Central coaching staff spent a lot of time poring over the video that's out there and available with the Huntingdon Bearcats and have come in with a solid game plan up to this point. 2nd down and 10, 33 seconds left first half. Hootie rolling to his left, now has to escape the pressure. Rolling again, lets it go down the near sideline. Pass intended for Wagner. He can't get it. Miller was there as well, but there were also 3 Scarlet Dragons. Nobody came down with the football. It hit the turf.
No, what was a jump ball situation, and then Jacob Wagner get up and slammed his fist to the ground. But it was kind of like slow motion, like, oh, I can try and get that ball, but it just kind of fell down and hit the ground. So 3rd down here for the Bearcats with 23 seconds left to go.
No updates on scores from Greg Banks back at Broadcast Central for the AirNetwork.net. Last one we had BG over Johnstown 10-0. That was in the second quarter in that game. I would imagine they're at halftime as we're now 23 seconds away from halftime and a 3rd down and 10 for the Bearcats. Handoff goes to Ian Border, and he picks up a yard and is pulled down to the field immediately. Good tackling again by the Scarlet Dragons, and a 4th down and 9. Clock should be rolling, but it's not. Is there a timeout?
Timeout by Central.
Okay, yep. Central uses their final timeout here in the first half with 17 seconds left to go. And if you get the right kind of trickeration play, 17 seconds is an eternity. By the way, don't forget, Monday Night Sports Talk gets the boot on Monday of this upcoming week, as it is Halloween parade night, and Jeff Speck will be your host on Monday night. That means Monday Night Sports Talk will be Tuesday Night Sports Talk this week. We'll be on the air at 7. Call in. We talk about local, regional, and national sports topics. We're going to have a lot to talk about. We'll be able to discuss this game between the Bearcats and the Scarlet Dragons. Also, the big game coming up tomorrow night at Beaver Stadium, the big whiteout against Michigan between the Nittany Lions and Michigan. 7:30 kickoff. That is the prime game on ABC. Nittany Lions ranked 2nd in the country. Have not reached that lofty height for a while.
No, I think 1999 was the last time, the LeVar Arrington era of Penn State football was the last time they did that. Again, going way back.
Yeah. Hootie's kick is away. It's fielded at the 35, up over the 40, 45, midfield, 45 of the Bearcats trying to cut back toward the middle. That was just a skosh away from being a punt return for a touchdown by Tristan Detweiler.
And the whole Bearcat Nation on the other side just held their breath as they were able to at least finally get him tackled down here with 5 seconds left to go. So
talked about a collective sigh of relief earlier in the game. There was a big one that time.
Absolutely. So with 5 seconds left, I got to believe that either Central's going to be comfortable and take a knee here, or they're going to try one shot at the end zone.
I'd give it a try.
I would.
I would give it a try with this 5 seconds left on the clock. The ball with the Bearcats 39. Let's see what they dial up as they have Parks and Detweiler in there, along with Muthler, who we know can throw the football pretty well. He has demonstrated that. And alone in the backfield, it's quarterback Carstetter. Snap back to him. The lefty back to throw. Looking toward the sideline. Jarris Warner could not intercept it. The pass is complete to Noah Muthler, and the clock has run out. Let's see if they do try to put any time back on the clock, but he is down inside the 10. And let's see if they say it ran out or not, because he did go out of bounds.
There is no time left on the clock here.
No, the scoreboard says zeros.
That should be it.
And that is the end of the first half. Nice play at the end of the first half. Fortunately for the Bearcats, it ends up running the clock out with no further points scored. A crazy first half of football, something that Huntingdon Bearcat football fans are not used to. This team only able to put 3 points up on the scoreboard, and our score at halftime is Central 7 and the Bearcats 3. We'll be back. Greg Banks bringing you our halftime show. Chad States has the calculator out, and he's working on those stats. We'll have all of that for you coming up. It is halftime from Roaring Spring, Pennsylvania. We've got a big-time 20-minute halftime rolling down off the clock. We're going to see probably the Huntingdon and Central bands performing here at halftime, and I think they have senior ceremonies too. Stay with us. We'll continue here on the airnetwork.net and 94.1 FM in Huntingdon.
DC Goodman & Sons and the Goodman family are committed and dedicated to excellence by supporting quality education and athletics for all youth of Huntingdon County. For over 3 generations, DC Goodman & Sons and their staff of quality tradesmen have provided excellent service in the installation of plumbing, mechanical and industrial piping, electrical, and fire sprinkler systems. Residential services are also available. DC Goodman & Sons and the Goodman family will continue to serve the community, and thank you for your support. The Goodman family wishes you the best to all area students in your pursuit of excellence. All-American Pizza and Subs in downtown Huntingdon at 612 Washington Street is the home of the new Bearcat Sub. Enjoy mozzarella cheese with bacon, crispy chicken, sour cream and chive fries, and our top-selling wing flavor, Mactown Gold, all wrapped on a fresh homemade roll. Try the Bearcat plus our many other great pizzas and subs at All-American Pizza and Subs. Don't forget their new Pepsi flavor shots, too. All-American Pizza and Subs will donate $1 for every pizza sold during October, with proceeds going toward breast cancer research. Call 643-0222 for delivery. Open till 9, closed Mondays.
The Huntingdon Moose Family Center 223 is the heart of the community, and they have loads of activities in October. The Huntingdon Moose Family Center 223 proudly presents the Huntingdon Halloween Parade on Monday, October 23rd in downtown Huntingdon. Come on down with the entire family and enjoy the evening. Also in October, you can enjoy our Friday food specials beginning at 5 p.m. Plus, check our website for other exciting events. There's always something happening at the Huntingdon Moose Family Center 223, where you come in as friends and leave as family. Join us today.
I'm Jarris Warner. I'm listening to the Bearcats on the airnetwork.net.
Call Austin Smith Heating and Plumbing for affordable heating, plumbing, and drain cleaning services in Huntingdon. Count on 12 years of ensured excellent service when it comes to heating, plumbing, ventilation, and drain cleaning. Call Austin Smith Heating and Plumbing, available evenings and weekends at an affordable rate. Call 814-506-5128. That's 506-5128 for Austin Smith Heating and Plumbing in Huntingdon.
Sometimes facts are hard to face. Statistics show that obesity is a problem in the United States, and it's not getting any better. At Simone Family Chiropractic, we understand this problem. We also know that obesity leads to very serious health problems later in life. There is a way to cleanse your body and get back to optimum health. It is called the Doctor-Supervised ChiroThin System, and it teaches you how and what to eat in the real world. Call us at Simone Family Chiropractic at 814-643-2616 or stop in and see us at 613 Washington Street in Huntingdon, across from All American Pizza, or find us on Facebook.
The Huntingdon Moose Family Center 223 is the heart of the community, and they have loads of activities in October. The Huntingdon Moose Family Center 223 proudly presents the Huntingdon Halloween Parade on Monday, October 23rd in downtown Huntingdon. Come on down with the entire family and enjoy the evening. Also in October, you can enjoy our Friday food specials beginning at 5 p.m. Plus, check our website for other exciting events. There's always something happening at the Huntingdon Moose Family Center 223 where you come in as friends and leave as family. Join us today.
This is Ian Border. You're listening to Bearcat Football on the airnetwork.net.
If we can just get Ian Border to deliver some big gains like he delivered that little promo for us, we might be in good shape, but that's not been the case. Here in the first half, the Central Scarlet Dragons have come in geared up defensively to make sure that Ian Border does not have an Ian Border kind of night. As a matter of fact, the entire Huntingdon offense not having a Huntingdon offense kind of night. One thing you got to say about it, Chad, is every once in a while you're going to get your comeuppance. And better to get it now than in a one-and-done playoff atmosphere.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, no harm lost if something happens in this football game, as all your goals are still in effect. And, the District 6 championship and beyond are still out there to be able to be gained. But right now, tonight, it is not going the Bearcats' way. As we look across the halftime stats here, Huntingdon with 2 first downs, Central with 5. Net yards rushing, Huntingdon with 47, Central with 37. Neither team, Dave, really doing anything on the ground at all. But it's through the air, and really it's 2 big plays that are hovering over this. Huntingdon with 12 passing yards, Central with 123. And whenever I say that those came on 2 big plays, that's exactly what they did. A 47-yard touchdown pass to Bellato, and then the 32-yarder here at the end of the half, which really didn't matter, amounting to 79 of those 123 yards. So, it's showing that the Bearcats are getting outgained 160-59, but it's actually a little bit less than that. Little skewed, but still, regardless, it's a 7-3 ball game in favor of Central because of that big play. So again, 30 offensive plays for the Bearcats, 59 total yards, 24 offensive plays for Central, 160 yards for them. Fumbles and lost. Huntingdon 0 fumbles on through the first half. Central with 3, and they lost 1. Penalties are even as far as the number of penalties, but not even as far as the yards. Huntingdon 3 for 40 yards. Central 3 for 18. Central did throw that 1 interception to Ian Border in the middle of the field in the first quarter. Individually for the Bearcats, Border 9 carries, 29 yards. Andrew Hootie 7 carries for 19 yards for the Bearcats. For Central, Detweiler 8 carries for 9 yards. Jared Smith 5 carries for 18. And McConaughey 3 carries for 10 yards. In the passing game, Andrew Hootie is 2 for 13 for 12 yards. Both those receptions going to Jared Warner. Carstetter is 3 of 7 for 76 yards. And Noah Muthler is 1 for 1 for 47 yards and that 1 touchdown to Bellato. In the passing game, or in the receiving game for Central, the other name we need to mention is Muthler, also as the leading receiver, 2 catches for 36 yards. Another stat that we usually don't keep track of too much here, at least at halftime, Huntingdon 0 of 8 on third downs, Dave, and Central 2 of 6. So this really is a defensive football game, and who's going to budge first? We saw Central score on a non-conventional play. This was a pass back to Noah Muthler. Muthler able to connect with Bellato for 47 yards down the middle, the seam, and that enables Central to lead here 7-3 at the half. So again, Central and Huntingdon locked in a defensive battle here in Martinsburg, and I'm not going to sit here and say that it wasn't
actually Roaring Springs,
but I'm not going to sit here and say it wasn't to be expected. Both these teams do a great job playing great team defense, and that's what we're seeing as a Central secondary has really come out to play. Jonathan Price with no touches in that first half.
And even when they tried to, move to a different side of the field and tried to use Andrew Miller, it still didn't work.
Right.
Central has just been able to read exactly what is on the mind of Andrew Hootie and the coaching staff of the Huntingdon Bearcats, and they've had the coverage there every time. By the way, as we're doing this live, from what I understand, there's no one listening to us except the prisoners at Smithfield, because they can hear 94.1. No one else is listening to us because of the stinking things on TV. So that's what we got going for us. And for you guys sitting there at the prison, hopefully you got your 3 square today and you're going to have a good night's sleep. Thanks for joining us. Maybe you had no choice, but nonetheless, thanks for joining us. All right. This is both bands performing here at halftime. Doesn't always happen wherever we go. And the countdown clock is at 3 minutes and 5 seconds. Gives us a chance to throw out a trivia question. We haven't done this in a couple of weeks. And it is our final trivia question for 2017. You can answer this by contacting Greg Banks on the airnetwork.net Facebook page. So once again, get in touch with Greg at the airnetwork.net's Facebook page and feed him an answer, your name and your answer. And if you're the first one with the right answer, then, hey, we'll talk about you during the broadcast. All right. Here is tonight's trivia question. There have been 11 Bearcat football players named first team All-State. Just name one of them. 11 Bearcat football players over the course of history have been named first team All-State. And for you to be successful in tonight's trivia question, you only have to name one of them. 1 out of 11. Give it your best shot. Send it in to Greg on the Facebook page, and we will let you know if you have one of the correct answers. And if you have one of them, then you're correct. And you move on to the bonus round, of which there is none. All right, as Greg outlined for you, lots of things coming up on the airnetwork.net. Coming up tomorrow, Pitt Panthers are in Durham, North Carolina tomorrow, taking on the Duke Blue Devils. ACC action on the Air Network at 94.1 FM. We have live coverage. Pre-game will begin around noon, and we will rebroadcast tonight's game between the Bearcats and the Scarlet Dragons right before that. Kickoff is set for about 12:20, and that'll be on the Pitt IMG Sports Network. Coming up on Monday, everybody all geared up for the big Halloween parade in downtown Huntingdon. Jeff Speck is going to give you all the coverage. He'll tell you what's going on as he talks with folks in the crowd and the parade participants, describing all the activities that go along the parade route. And join Jeff, the Huntingdon Halloween Parade, Monday, 7 to 9 on the airnetwork.net and 94.1 FM in Huntingdon.
And if you're really
Steve Jackson and Peg Bennett are the only 2 people listening to the game. They have contacted Greg and let him know, so they aren't in Roaring Spring and they're listening to us rather than watching on TV. God bless America. Thank you, Steve and Peg. Right. Peg's been with us every week. She has let Greg know, and she has been there with us every week. And Steve has too, I believe. So thanks to Steve and Peg. All right. Very good. Let's see. What else did I want to tell you about? Oh, Monday Night Sports Talk gets the heave on Monday because of the parade, and it will be Tuesday Night Sports Talk coming up this week on the airnetwork.net. Take a quick check of what is going on in baseball. The Yankees and the Astros are playing. It's in the middle of the second inning, and there is no score there. The Penguins are taking on the Florida Panthers tonight, and one that they need to win because I'll tell you what, a lot of the early season projections say it's going to be the Tampa Bay Lightning that win the Stanley Cup. And the Penguins are going to play them again tomorrow night for the second time in about 2 weeks. This early in the season, I don't know who did the scheduling for the NHL, but that's what you got. Tonight, though, it's the Florida Panthers, and the Penguins trail by a score of 2-0. That is after one period, and I do not know if Antti Niemi was the starting goalie or not tonight. But Antti has had some problems early on in the net for the Penguins. That's what we have so far. I don't know if Chad has anything else. Last score we had on BG Town was BG up 10-0. That was in the second quarter.
No, it's really the only score we were following here from the high school level. But, again, Huntington's going to get the ball here to start off the second half. And what I think, Dave, is an all-important...
That's Matt Murray, by the way, in the net. So I'm a little surprised that he's given up 2 early on 11 shots.
I think this is an all-important opening drive here for the second half for the Bearcats. As they,
no, it doesn't get any bigger.
It doesn't really.
I mean, this may be the football game just
right now,
on this drive.
All of the momentum is over here on the Central Scarlet Dragon side.
And to be honest with you, Huntingdon hasn't proven that they've been able to, or that they are able to move the football at all.
No, not at all, not one bit. And that's something we have not seen all year long.
So, here we go. Central getting ready to kick off. Did they get official permission to take off from the, I guess I don't see the field director out there for TV, so we are all set and ready to roll. 7-3, Central with the lead as we get ready for the start of the second half. Carstetter to kick off. It is fielded by Jacob. No, I'm sorry. It is Wagner. Wagner is out over the 25 and is grabbed by the shoulder pad and ripped down at about the 27-yard line. So that's where the Bearcats will start, 1st and 10. And as we say, I hate to overemphasize a possession, but you really can't overemphasize this.
No, this is just about as important as it gets.
Bare minimum, get onto the central side of the field and maybe down to the point where Scotcha can attempt a field goal. That's minimum that you need out of this drive. So let's see what may have changed offensively for the Bearcats. I can tell you one thing. Hootie is out in the pass formation. It's Border in the Wildcat. And Border ends up handing the ball off to Drew Weglars. Weglars gets out over the 30 and is brought down at the 31.
And Weglars is one of those what we call change of pace backs. He is. Quick, keeps his feet moving, good 3-yard pickup, almost 4 yards on that gain. So it's a good change of pace here for Huntington to give Weglars the ball and see what he can do with it.
We'll set up a second down, and we'll call it 6 because we like Drew.
We do.
So we'll give him a gain of 4 on that. Second down at 6. And it is Border in the Wildcat again. Snap to Border. Handed off to Weglars. Goes over the right side at the 40, at the 45, and forced out of bounds at about midfield, just shy of midfield, I believe. God bless him. The high school officials have a hard job. We had a side judge in front of us here that was calling where he was out of bounds when he was taken out on the far side of the field. And you know what? He won.
He did.
That's where they put the ball down.
Yep, he did.
Is he psychic?
I don't know. Regardless,
how could he have seen that sideline over there?
Regardless, it's a first down and a great block that time by Andrew Hootie out there as he was split out to the wide receiver slot.
Oh, it's working, so they're sticking with it this time. It's Ian Border with a keep, and he's going to be brought down just shy of midfield, maybe right at the 50-yard line. If so, nope, it's shy of midfield, so it's going to be a gain of 1 and a second down and a short 9 for the Bearcats.
Well, credit Huntington. We said they had to come out and do something different, and that's
different.
That's what we're seeing.
It's different. I'd rather see the I formation myself, but that's just me, because of the success we had a week ago. Hootie is still not back in the backfield. He is out as a receiver in the formation, along with Price and Warner. And here goes that counter side handoff again, and Drew Weglars has a first down and more, knocked out of bounds at about the 40, make that the 39-yard line.
Wow.
Another big gain for Drew Weglars.
12 yards. 12 yards that time for Drew.
So the Bearcats trying something different, and they've certainly thrown a curveball at the Central Scarlet Dragons defense. Now, what you got to do with this, they're eventually going to get onto it at some point, but take advantage of it while it's there and try to punch this thing in.
Yeah, and Drew is a different style running back than what Ian is. So, like I said, it's a change of pace.
7-3 Central leads. We're in the third quarter. And that is Border keeping the football. He gets back to the line of scrimmage, and that's it. So Ian's not able to get on track. And as Chad said, referred to him as the change of pace runner, Drew Weglars is the guy that's chewing up the yards.
3 carries, 33 yards for Drew as he became the leading rusher so far for the Bearcats.
It didn't take much, by the way,
on those 3 carries. Nope.
To get that title in tonight's game.
Nope.
9:45 on a rolling clock, third quarter, 7-3 Central with the lead, 2nd and 10. And the Bearcats stick with it, as it is Ian Border in the Wildcat, flanked by Weglars. Man in motion was Jonathan Price, and before anything happens, the flags fly, and it'll be a false start against the Huntingdon Bearcats, 5-yard penalty to set up a second down and 15 now.
Their fourth penalty in the evening, 45 total yards.
And this is a third time I've seen a Bearcat player have to get down and tie his shoes. In this case, it's Ryan Quarry who's out there.
I like the look, though, for the Bearcats here. Dave, they've been concentrating on Border all night long, so why not just put the ball in his hands and let him make the decision on whether you're coming after me or going after somebody else?
Oh, it's Hootie with Border flanked to his left. Back to pass. Hootie lets it go down the middle of the field, and he had Jonathan Price on a post pattern, and they light up Price, and then the flag comes in afterward as Price was slow getting up off the field, and they may call a personal foul for excessive roughness on that play, as Price was lit up in the middle of the field, took his time getting up. Now, they may pick up the flag and not do anything either, but Central's thinking it's a done deal because their defense is lined up back there where the flag was thrown.
Well, it should be right at the first down. I mean, it should be a first down.
Personal foul.
Should be a first down. We're going to see where he puts
against
the ball
Central. And they're going to set it down at the 29-yard line, which is good enough for a first down.
No, it is not.
Oh, be darned.
That's just, I don't know. That should be a first down. It should be 15 yards and a first down. I have no idea.
PIAA, you got to start getting these schools to put the hash marks on the field. That's what you got to do. Andrew Hootie with a quick handoff to Ian Border over the right side. He turns it upfield, gets those shoulders squared, and ends up picking up the first down with no problem. One of the best runs for a while for Ian Border in tonight's football game. 1st and 10 at the 22 as he picks up 7 on that carry. And the Bearcats doing what we thought they needed to do here in the second half, because they're down in an area that you would consider to be Geo-Scotia field goal territory. But so far, Central has not been able to stop them. They gave them that change of pace with a Wildcat, and it worked. Here's a handoff from Hootie to Border, and Ian Border will pick up about 2.
Yep.
Get down to about the 20-yard line, 2nd and 8.
Dave, I think this goes beyond Geo-Scotia field goal range. I believe that this is 4-down territory. They've got to score a touchdown. If you get this close, you're going for it on 4th down.
See what happens as this rolls along. Down to 8.5 left to go in the third quarter, and a 7-3 Central lead. Bearcats got the kickoff to start the second half and have proceeded to drive the ball down the field in a nice methodical way. Snap to Hootie, hand off to Border. Now he's over the right side. He's out in the open, but quickly brought down, tripped up, and he goes down after picking up probably about 4 yards to set up a 3rd down and 3.
Usually when we see Ian hit that second level, those linebackers, it's usually him owning it. Tonight, that's not the case, as the linebackers from Central are very, very active and doing a great job of wrapping up Ian and then tackling where he's at.
Just seems that he's getting to that point slowly, Chad, and that's given the linebackers the opportunity to bring them down, and they're keying in on that. And now the Central faithful trying to get behind their defense. It is Border. Border is near first down yardage. I can't tell because it's on the far side of the field. We'll see, because obviously our vision is somewhat distorted here in the booth in a way that is almost amazing to me. Okay, it is good for a first down. They mark him at about the 13-yard line. And so the Bearcats trying to get into the Scarlet Dragons end zone and start off this second half positively.
It's the first 3rd down made by the Bearcats all night long, 1 of 9 now.
Back to the Wildcat, Hootie. Hands the ball off to Weglars over the right side. Nice jump cut. He ends up picking up about 6 yards to set up a 2nd down and 4.
And you're right, Dave. That was an excellent jump cut by Weglars there to avoid the first tackler.
And Drew has been the hero so far here in the second half. 2nd down and 4. And the Bearcats have pretty much silenced the home crowd here at Central High School football field in Roaring Spring.
And this is touchdown or nothing area for the Bearcats.
Well, at this point, if you got a 4th down, I'm definitely going for it. Back to the Wildcat. Border, handoff. Weglars gets down over the 5 and near the goal line, but eventually gets stacked up as it ends up drawing 8 Scarlet Dragons defenders, converging on Drew Weglars and keeping him out of the end zone. Helmet comes off, so the player comes out for the Scarlet Dragons. He got over the 5 to the 4, setting up a 3rd down and 2. The Bearcats can get a first down without scoring a touchdown. 7-3 the score. For some reason, the clock stopped, and now it starts to roll again. 6:10 left to go, 3rd quarter. Home fans trying to get the defense excited here on a big 3rd down play. Into the end zone, Ian Border, touchdown. No?
Yes.
Yes. I didn't see any of the officials. Finally, I see an official here at the goal line put his arms up in the air, but it looked to me like he was in there a long time before that, and I saw no other motions on the field. And the press box here has us kind of shielded from the corners, the near corners of the field. We can't see them.
And Dave,
I was able to pick it up. It makes it 9-7.
I cannot stress enough the importance of that drive.
Well, that was, if that didn't produce, and in this case producing a touchdown, Scotcha with point after attempt, little line, squirrely line drive, spinning, but it gets over the crossbar and it's in the middle, and that makes it good, and it makes it Bearcats 10 and Central 7. But to be honest with you, Chad, the way this game's been going, if that hadn't happened, I don't know that the Bearcats get back into this football game at all.
And I agree, and that's why, when you get down there that close, you're in 4-down territory, you've got to do whatever it takes. It was gut check time. I mean, let's face it, Dave, that was gut check time for that offense to say, we've got to do something right now to help out our defense, because our defense is playing great so far. We've got to do something to help out our defense, and that's exactly what Huntington was able to do, is they were able to convert with the 4-yard touchdown run by Border that time. 6 minutes left to go in the 3rd quarter. Again, Dave, the other thing we had talked about is Huntington's not allowed a point in the 3rd quarter all year long. Never has that been more important until tonight.
BG a 17-0 lead over Johnstown in the 3rd quarter. That sounds like that's about done. They're in the top of the 3rd inning. Yankees and the Astros are scoreless. We'll see if Verlander has what it takes. And the Penguins have rallied back in the 2nd period to tie that game against the Florida Panthers at 2:14:46 left in the 2nd period.
And I will say, I am wearing my Bearcat jacket, but you see the hat that I'm wearing tonight, Dave. It is my Yankee hat tonight.
Oh, yes. I'll tell you what, can't ask for a better guy on the mound than Verlander, and television has once again interrupted the flow of the game, and that gives me time to let you know you want to be tuned to this same place coming up on Monday night, when it is the Huntingdon Halloween Parade. We have coverage for you beginning at 7 with Huntingdon's Jeff Speck. Jeff is going to have fun as he talks with folks in the crowd and the parade participants, describing all the activities along the parade route during the Huntingdon Halloween Parade, coming up Monday night, 7 to 9, here on the airnetwork.net and 94.1 FM in Huntingdon.
It is still hard to believe, Dave, that we are now, almost halfway through the 3rd quarter, and Jonathan Price still does not have a catch or has touched the ball in the running game at all so far for the Bearcat offense. Totally taken out of this football game.
Steve Jackson is a winner in the trivia question.
Yay, Steve.
Here's what you win, Steve. Another night at the Moose. Oh, wait. You are at the Moose. You are the Moose.
A high
the
five.
Last time I checked.
A high five for me on Washington Street at some point.
There's a kickoff from Scotcha, taking it about the 13-yard line out over the 20, and then met at the 25, and that run back is brought to an end. They'll mark him down at the 26-yard line. But the special teams of the Bearcats able to get down there and not exactly pin him deep, but make sure that return did not get back into Bearcat territory. 1st and 10, Scarlet Dragons ball at their own 26.
And just as we had said that the opening drive was important for Huntington, conversely, it is just as important for Central here, too. Now, specifically, the Huntington scored.
10-7, Bearcats with the lead, 5:53 left to go in the 3rd quarter. Long time to go here, and the Bearcats have a lot of ground to be making up, even though they're ahead 10-7. Here's a handoff, and it is Tristan Detweiler who spins and is brought down at about the 29 after a gain of 3. And that'll set up a 2nd down and 7 for the Scarlet Dragons. Incumbent upon the Bearcat defense to come up with a stop here if they can.
Detweiler, 9 carries, 12 yards. So Huntington's done a great job of bottling him up all night long.
If you're going to get that momentum off of that scoring drive to start the second half, you also need that defensive performance to keep the Scarlet Dragons from scoring further. Back to pass is Carstetter, and he throws it behind his intended receiver on that play. As he threw it out there, Austin Garner was unable to slow his speed enough and get into a position where he could catch that.
You know, one of the things that we're talking about is we've said that the Price hasn't been really involved in the offense. Well, neither's Garner. Garner only has 1 catch for 5 yards. That's only his second target of the night. So Huntington's done a really good job of bottling up the All-State tight end.
3rd down and 7 after the incompletion. Clock stopping at 5:15. Big 3rd down play for the Bearcat defense. Ian Border sneaking up like maybe he's going to try for a blitz and a sack. But before all of that gets started, the whistle blows, and probably a false start against the Scarlet Dragons at this point. By the way, here is Steve Jackson with a correct answer of Ian Border for one of the 11 Bearcat football players. Now, here are other names that you could have used. Mervyn Metz, Ron Lauder, Arlie Miller, Mike Zozig, Scott Neer, Phil Davis, Terry Hefner, Steve Wabros, Jeff Kozak, and Andrew Surratt.
That's Andy Surratt.
Surratt, sorry.
That's all right, Surratt.
Well, Surratt Dorset.
Well, you'd remember him. What a punter that kid was.
Really?
Unbelievable.
Back to pass is Carstetter, looks downfield deep and throws toward the Bearcat sideline, decidedly out of bounds, and a 4th down. So on request, that Bearcat defense comes up with a big stand against the Scarlet Dragons here, and it's a 3 and out.
Yeah, great job that time by the Huntington defense as they forced Carstetter to throw high right over top of the receiver that time and out of bounds and set up a punt situation. So Jonathan Price will go back deep here for the Bearcats, the dangerous Jonathan Price. And, you know, if he's not able to get it done offensively, we'll see if he's able to do something here on special teams, Dave.
Punt is away from Carstetter, and he shanks it badly. It goes out of bounds. Let's see where the official says. He's going to mark it at the 48-yard line, roughly. And so the Bearcats get great field position. By the way, our crack staff has discovered there are 2 other people listening besides the guys at the prison. We told you about Steve and Peg. Mike Hohenstein and Anthony Bullitt also tuned in.
Thank you
to our broadcast of Bearcat football.
Mike Hohenstein is the manager over at the Sheets in Uptown, so thank you, Mike. Appreciate all that you do.
And Anthony,
thank you, Anthony,
for tuning in. 4 people and the prisoners. And under center was Hootie, and he hands it off to Border, and there's a flag on the far side of the field, and we'll see if one of the Bearcats may be left early or not. It is a false start against the Bearcats.
The Bullet name is near and dear to me as I graduated with, it could be Anthony's son, I'm not sure, Anthony, but Richie Bullitt was a outstanding wide receiver, slot type back, playing in the late 80s, early 90s for the Bearcats. He was part of the Bearcat team with the 500th when it came under Tom Givney's guidance back in 1990.
5-yard penalty on the Bearcats and a 1st and 15 after the false start penalty. Well, I'll tell you what, talk about changing the complexion of the game. If the Bearcats could score another touchdown on this possession, boy, that would really change things.
See, Drew Weglar's checking back in here, so
and
looks like
it
they're
looks like
go
we're
from
going
the
Wildcat.
Yep, absolutely. And why not? I mean, it's worked.
It works.
5 carries, 41 yards for Weglars.
And it is a handoff to Drew. He's not going to get much, if anything there. May have been stopped right at the line of scrimmage, taking the handoff from Ian Border. Going to be no gain.
Yeah, and you said Central will adjust. And you're right. We saw it there that time as they were unable to adjust through the first series, but that time held Weglars to 0 yards on that carry. So, you know, point, counterpoint. That's what we're seeing all night tonight.
Chad, you attended school with Anthony's cousin.
Very good. Richie, one heck of a good football player. fast, really fast.
10-7 Bearcat lead. A pass is complete to Jonathan Price. He starts heading up the field, but is quickly shoved out of bounds. Tristan Detweiler is the guy that was over there forcing him out of bounds. It is a gain, though, on the play as he picks up about 7 to set up a 3rd down and 8. I'm being really generous, but hey, if the guys can freelance it with the chains, I'll freelance it with a yardage call.
This will be Huntington's 11th 3rd down attempt on the evening, and have only made 1 so far. So this is another important one.
3:53 left to go, 3rd quarter. Bearcats 10, Central 7. Trying to keep their undefeated season intact. Man in motion, Price. Instead, the handoff goes to Weglars. And Drew will get down to about the 45-yard line, picking up about 2 on the carry and set up a 4th down and 6.
Interesting call that time, but the way Weglars has been running, I think they were probably looking to see if he could get a big chunk of yardage at that point in time, maybe set up a 4th and short and then make the decision, but Central Scarlet Dragon defense all over Weglars and held him to a 2-yard gain.
So Andrew Hootie gets that leg warmed up, ready to kick one away. And, of course, it's Tristan Detweiler deep.
Good punt.
This one's going to hit at about the 17-yard line, die in the grass, and roll down dead at the 9-yard line. So you are correct, Mr. States. That's a great punt.
36-yard punt, and anytime you can get one inside the 10, that's exactly what you want to have happen.
Of course, you have a little moisture on the field tonight, so that one went dead in a hurry. And that's what you got. 1st and 10 from the 9 for the Scarlet Dragons. 3:10 left to go in the 3rd quarter. And, of course, we're wanting to cover all of the Bearcat playoff games, and you can help defray the costs of those games being broadcast by sending a donation to Greg Banks at P.O. Box 56 in Huntingdon. 16652 is the address. Help us pay the additional PIAA fees to help keep Bearcat football broadcasts going through the postseason on the airnetwork.net and 94.1 FM. Each contribution will be acknowledged during the broadcast. And the first play is a
Jared Smith
ground
run.
game play to Jared Smith, and Smith gets out over the 10 to about the 14, a gain of 5 and a 2nd and 5. Bearcat defense needs to provide another stiff stand. They managed to contain Central for a 3 and out. See if they can repeat that performance. 2:36 left to go, 3rd quarter, 10-7, Bearcats lead. Back to pass, and the pass is complete from Noah Muthler to Brady Bellotto. That's the combination that resulted in a touchdown, but not in a standard play. That was a pretty standard play there with Muthler in the Wildcat, completing the pass for a 1st down out over the 20 to about the 23-yard line. 1st and 10, not a 3 and out this time. See if the Bearcats can shut it down from here. Up under center, it is Muthler, and Muthler with the pitch behind Tristan Detweiler. What an effort by Detweiler, a one-handed grab behind him. A bad pitch from Muthler, reels it in though. Central maintains possession and gains 3 yards on the play to set up a 2nd and 7.
Wow, did he save disaster for Central there? Because if he's not able to reel that ball in, that ball's being pitched to the 10-yard line, and that's 6 going the other way for Huntington.
That's a 6 for Huntington. I don't think you'll see that one come out of the playbook again tonight.
No, but it is one they ran a lot last year with Hohenstein.
Not so much this time. Muthler back to pass. Ian Border with a rush and gets to him immediately. He has to let go of the football, and it floats incomplete between the secondary and the linebackers. But penetration that time for Ian Border. And that time, yeah, that was some good blitzing by Ian.
Yeah, good defense that time by the Bearcats.
Passing completion sets up a 3rd down and 7. The ball at the 26, a minute 43 left to go. 3rd quarter, Bearcats lead 10-7. Trying to maintain that perfect season if they can. It's not an easy task. We never thought it would be. The only thing that would have led us to believe that maybe the Bearcats would have had an easier game was the result of the Bellefonte game a week ago. Quarterback Muthler gets away and tries to throw a pass, and it falls incomplete. Under duress was
under
Mr.
much
Muthler.
duress, and thanks to Ben Briggs coming off of the edge that he wasn't able to make it pass the first time as he tried to attempt. Then he had to pump fake the ball and then bring it in, and then Ryan Corey just being right there with him again. So, another pass falls incomplete for Central, and they're up in another punting situation here. I did find out, Dave, we have another listener, former assistant Bearcat wrestling coach Eric Shea is listening to us. So thank you, Eric, for listening to us on the airnetwork.net.
Also, Huntingdon Councilman Jim Bear is tuned in. The punt hits at the 40. It is picked up by Jonathan Price up to the 35, and then does a little dance, makes a little move, and gets back to about where the football hit to begin with, right at the 40-yard line, just a little bit beyond it. But the Bearcats with good field position, and even though they gave up that first down that time around, they stiffened up immediately and got a lot of pressure on Muthler that time.
Yeah, absolutely. And Price was really doing his best to try to break free out there, but Central was having none of it as a 6-yard punt return for Jonathan. But he was really giving it his best to try to see what he could do with that football and see if he could shake something loose here.
1st and 10, Bearcat football at their own 41. Back to a traditional formation. Hootie hands the ball off the border over the right side, out to the 45 and up near the 47, where he is knocked out of bounds. And a little frustration, I think, that time by the Scarlet Dragons. Yeah. They have been so used to being able to bring border down with minimal yards gained. Is there a flag? Yes,
there is a flag.
There is a flag over there, and it's against Central.
Yes, it is, and that's a big penalty.
So Border had picked up 8 yards on the carry, and it's a face mask. That's how they pulled him out of bounds. So they tack on to the end of that, and it puts it at the Central 47-yard line, 1st and 10 for the Bearcats. And a score is in order, gentlemen. Minute 15 on a rolling clock, 3rd quarter, 10-7, Bearcats lead. Hootie in the shotgun, hands off. Yes, he did hand off to Border. Faked me out. He's done that more than once this season. He is very good at faking that handoff as Andrew Hootie. But that time he did hand it to Border, and Border gets back to the line of scrimmage and no more. I mean, it's taken the Wildcat and the I formation to loosen things up enough for Border to get some good gains.
Yeah, like I said, like we've been talking about, it's a defensive football game.
And now we're going to go back to that Wildcat as we see Andrew Hootie wind up as a receiver off to the right side. Now starts to cut across. No jet sweep, a keep by Border. Border is going to get down over the 45 to about the 43-yard line, and that would be a gain of about 4, maybe 3. Let's call it a gain of 3 and set up a 3rd down and 7 with the ball marked down at the 44-yard line. Big 3rd down again for the Bearcats.
19 carries, 62 yards now for Border, but, I mean, that's a hard 19 carries, Dave. He's really working his tail off out here. It's like we're going to end up the 4th quarter, and Huntington's going to preserve that 3rd quarter.
And the clock does roll down. Bearcats got the football to start the 2nd half, took advantage of it, scored a touchdown, and lead this thing at the end of 3 quarters. It is Bearcats 10 and Central 7. Back with a 4th quarter after this. You're listening to Bearcat Football on the airnetwork.net and 94.1 FM in Huntingdon.
D.C. Goodman & Sons and the Goodman family are committed and dedicated to excellence by supporting quality education and athletics for all youth of Huntingdon County. For over 3 generations, D.C. Goodman & Sons and their staff of quality tradesmen have provided excellent service in the installation of plumbing, mechanical and industrial piping, electrical, and fire sprinkler systems. Residential services are also available. D.C. Goodman & Sons and the Goodman family will continue to serve the community, and thank you for your support. The Goodman family wishes you the best to all area students in your pursuit of excellence. All-American Pizza and Subs in downtown Huntingdon at 612 Washington Street is the home of the new Bearcat Sub. Enjoy mozzarella cheese with bacon, crispy chicken, sour cream and chive fries, and our top-selling wing flavor, Mactown Gold, all wrapped on a fresh homemade roll. Try the Bearcat plus our many other great pizzas and subs at All-American Pizza and Subs. Don't forget their new Pepsi flavor shots, too. All-American Pizza Subs will donate $1 for every pizza sold during October, with proceeds going toward breast cancer research. Call 643-0222 for delivery. Open till 9, closed Mondays.
Hi, I'm Drew Weglars, and you're listening to the Huntingdon Bearcats on airnetwork.net.
I think we should have Weglars do all the rest of the
why not?
bumpers back from commercials. By the way, they're in the top of the fourth inning, 3 in the books in Houston, and they are scoreless between the Yankees and the Astros. Meanwhile, the Pittsburgh Penguins have added on, and after trailing 2-0 at the end of one, now lead Florida by a score of 3-2 with 6:10 remaining in the second. Now, we've been beating the bushes figuratively. We thought, no one was listening to us tonight because it's on TV, You got to watch it on TV. Why would you listen to us? We're being pleasantly surprised by the number of listeners that are now checking in with us. Chad has a very important listener that he darn well better recognize.
Yeah, my wife and my little daughter, and I'm sure my son is listening at home too, as he said that he was going to on his tablet. So he can't text me, but I'm sure that those 3 are listening along with my folks at home. So there's 4 or 5 other people that have DirecTV or Dish Network that probably aren't picking it up on television and are enjoying the fine broadcast, Dave, that you and I are providing to them this evening.
Well, the somewhat fine, but
yes.
Chad's part's great. It's my part that sucks.
I do want to highlight that third quarter here, as we had said that Central outgained Huntingdon 160-59 in the third or in the second, through the first half.
Oh, it was great till that.
That is now flipped. That's right. Yeah. Blah 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 blah. But anyway, that is now flipped as Central only gained 20 yards in that third quarter. Huntingdon 82. So it's 180-141 by virtue of that long drive that the Bearcats had. So you start to see things start to change in the second half here, Dave, and we'll see if the fourth quarter mimics the third quarter, as we hope that it does, to preserve this undefeated season that Huntingdon has going on here.
Look at this formation. Ian Border out as a receiver here on the near sideline, along with Drew Weglars. Andrew Hootie alone in the backfield in the shotgun. And Hootie is back to pass, looks for Weglars. He's not open and is now dropped for a sack back in Bearcat territory at the 46. And as you might expect, that excites the Central fans.
And that is a sack that you just can't take. As a quarterback, that is a sack that you just, like I said, you just can't take that type of sack.
Designed to be a quick hitter to Drew Weglars. Credit the Central defense. They were all over him, and he had no option but to try to spin and run out of that. And once again, credit the defense of Central with their speed, being able to get him, wrangle him down to the ground for a sack.
And Huntingdon will be forced to punt. They are now 1 of 12 on third down tonight, Dave. An untypical stat for the Bearcats.
Oh, by the way, just as a point of reference, the Bearcats continue through 9 games to have held their opponents scoreless in the third quarter.
And it wasn't any more important than that third quarter right there.
You got that right. What a great punt by Hootie. Hit it about the 13-yard line and then took a left turn straight out of bounds at about the 7.
I might have just said, we crucified him for taking that sack, but he just more than made up with it with that punt as he put that down in what we would like to call a coffin corner type deal and put it inside the 20 to second, or inside the 10. It's his second punt tonight inside the 10, as Huntingdon has dominated field position tonight, which has really helped them out.
So now the Bearcats are in a position where if they can con somebody into a mistake, be it Muthler, be it Carstetter, or be it Detweiler, you could end up with a pick six. It's not going to be Detweiler. He's out wide in the formation. Muthler does take the snap and hands off. This is a running play over the right side, and that's Smith, the ball carrier. Jared Smith picks up out to the 15-yard line, so he gains a total of 8 to set up a 2nd down and 2.
Good hard running by Smith that time.
Yes, it was. Some good blocking there at the initial point of contact as well.
Did what a good running back does and just followed your blockers all the way through.
Bearcat defense cannot let up at this point. Muthler hands off. And that is Smith once again, and he gets out near the first down yardage at about the 18-yard line. Let's see where they mark him down and see if that is good enough. Chad and I were talking about, and this is a very nice press box, very roomy, but this comes from the old days of press boxes. By the way, short by a yard on the gain. So I've got this beam in the windows right between me and the football, right where they're playing right now.
None of these were ever designed. These press boxes were not designed by media people, because you wouldn't have them set up like this, including the little one in Huntington. It was not designed by media people.
Yes, indeed. Pitch back to Muthler, has the first down and more. He's out over the 30, out over the 35, 40 at midfield. Tries to high step and fake out Price, who's not buying him. So Jonathan just forces him out of bounds, but a huge gain for the Central Scarlet Dragons as they're into Huntingdon territory on a 3rd and 1. They get down to the 40 of the Bearcats.
Huge run that time. 43-yard pickup by Muthler, and that was a huge run in this football game.
Noah Muthler, 6'2 junior at 185 pounds, went flying down the field and able to pick up that first down. He was not going to get around Price. No matter what you may think you can do, Jonathan Price is pretty wary because he's put his share of moves on people, and he can stick right with you, no matter how good you may think you are. Muthler is going to take the snap again, more Wildcat stuff. Fakes the handoff, keeps the football, and is now down over the 30-yard line and brought down at about the 27, maybe 28. Let's call it the 28-yard line.
But there might be a reason for that, as there is a flag here thrown at about the 37.
And it is a hold on the Central Scarlet Dragons. Spot foul, take it back 10 from there and probably make it a first and about 14, depending on how they mathematically convert this onto the grass at Central High School Field in Roaring Spring.
It's Central's 7th penalty for 52 yards. And just what we had said about Drew Weglars being a change of pace running back, that's exactly what Muthler is doing for Central here. He's a change of pace running back, something Huntington hasn't seen yet. And so far it's been effective through his first 2 carries.
Well, it ends up taking it all the way back to the 47-yard line. And that is going to be a first down and about 18. Rolling to his right is Muthler. Lets it go down the middle of the field. Intercepted. Picked off by Jonathan Price. Price back over the 30. Gets up near the 35 and is rolled down. Jonathan Price has been a big part of the coverage. Brady Bellotto yanked him down, but not after he'd picked up some fine yardage after the interception and what looked like a very pivotal point of the game for the Central Scarlet Dragons to maybe regain control of this. It's snatched away from them by Jonathan Price.
And Dave, never has a turnover this entire season been more important than that one right there. Price read that the whole time. Carstetter just kind of threw that ball up for grabs. Price spotted that ball was thrown up for grabs and just came right back for it and did a great job.
9:18 left to go in the game. 10-7. Bearcats with the lead. Hootie with the keep. And Hootie will be brought down short of the line of scrimmage. Another loss. And I'm not sure why the Bearcats keep pulling that play out, what they've seen that makes them think that that is going to eventually produce yardage. It's done nothing but create negative yardage.
Yeah, that's 1, 2, 3, 4 losses, 4 plays for minus yardage for Andrew Hootie. 2 of those are sacks, but regardless, that play is not going anywhere at all. Maybe
he did have one good run early that you pointed out.
The very first one, and that's been it.
And everything since then has not been good. Back to the Wildcat. Part of the reason of the Bearcats' success, it's a handoff to Weglars. Weglars is going to be pulled down, probably marked at the line of scrimmage, so he'll get that yard back that Hootie lost, but it's going to bring up a 3rd down and 10, and boy, you would have loved to have picked up some momentum after getting that interception and turnover, but right now the Bearcats in 2 plays have been unable to create any positive yardage, right back where they started from.
In any other game this year, you would have thought that a 3rd and 10, really just get it in the hands of one of your playmakers and you've got a shot. Tonight, there has not been a reception by a receiver greater than 8 yards, and that was Jarris Warner in the first quarter.
And we got a timeout called, and I think it's by Huntingdon. Let's see. Yes, Bearcats called timeout. Their first timeout of the second half. They have 2 remaining. There's 8 minutes left on the clock. The Bearcats are up 10-7. And boy, it would be huge for them to be able to hang on to the football here and continue to eat some time off the clock and pick up some yardage as well. Hey, don't forget, folks, in Huntingdon, Trick-or-Treat Night's coming up Wednesday night. And the airnetwork.net and 94.1 FM encourage you to keep your porch lights on 6 to 8. Well, only keep them on if you've got treats for the kids.
Keep them on for Wonder Woman, please. She'll be around. I promise you, she will be around.
If you happen to be out driving, be careful too. The trick-or-treaters will be out there, and keep an eye out for them Wednesday night, 6 to 8, trick-or-treat night in Huntingdon Borough.
Wonder Woman will be roaming the streets of Smithfield, so with a lot of candy that she doesn't need to eat, but she will, let me tell you, she will devour all of it.
Only 46 seconds left now in the second period. Penguins continue to lead Florida by a score of 3-2. Checking in on the Yankees and the Astros. They now have 4 innings in the books. It's a scoreless tie.
They're
Verlander and
Severino.
They
are sweating it out because they don't want a close game and get into that Yankee bullpen. It has been devastating to the Astros all series long.
Astros in a real cold slump as far as the bats go. They have not been able to generate much, if any, offense at all against the Yankees.
And the Yankees starting pitching has been lights out. Tanaka just threw a great game the other night.
Did he ever? Wow.
I talk like I'm a Yankee fan.
And you are.
And I am.
Hootie, standard formation again. Man in motion, Drew Weglars. Hootie rolls to his left, looks back toward Weglars, instead completes the pass to Alex Mikett. Mikett gets about 2 yards past the 25 to the 27. And when you thought that interception might flip the momentum in this game back to the Bearcats, they're unable to do anything. They actually mark him down after a gain of just a yard to set up a 4th down and 9. And Andrew Hootie needs to kick it away. He did a great job, as Chad described, with that coffin corner, his last kick out. Let's see what happens this time around as you have Tristan Detweiler going back. Line drive, hits at the 32-yard line and continues to bounce, and will be touched down at the 20 by Jake Wagner. Jacob Wagner gets down there, and so starting at the 20-yard line, so that worked out very well. Nice punt, Andrew Hootie.
44-yard punt. Punting can make a difference in a ball game, and he's doing it. I mean, there's no doubt. That was bad field position. If Andrew shanks one there, doesn't get a really good roll on that punt, it sets up Central with good field position. Now it's going to set them up with another long field, 80 yards to go. What that interception did, Dave, was time. It took time off the clock. Probably not enough, but 2.5 minutes worth of time off the clock and stopped momentum that Central was having.
And this drive starts with 7:16 left on the clock, and the handoff. And that was one I was unable to see, as it's Jared Smith.
Jared Smith.
And Smith gets out to about the 28-yard line. Let's give him a gain of 8 and a second down and a short 2
9 carries,
for the Scarlet Dragons.
9 carries, 40 yards for Smith. His sister, a member of the Juniata Valley basketball team.
It's a nail-biter here at Central High School Field in Roaring Spring. 10-7, Bearcats lead, 6:43 left to go in the game. Muthler's going to keep it and run. And boy, does he squirt out of there and pick up out over the 35 to about the 37-yard line. And it is a Central first down.
And they see something. There's no doubt about it. They see something with that play. 10 more yards for Muthler. 56 on the ground for him now.
Carstetter comes out over to the sideline. And right now, the way things have been going with Muthler at the controls, except for his interception that he threw in the last drive, pretty darn good stuff. Muthler takes the snap and hands off to Smith. Smith gets out over the 40, still going. It looked like he was down at the 45, and now it is marked down at the 45. They say his knee touched. He popped back up and continued to run, and as you can tell, the in-stand Zebras, who happen to be Central Scarlet Dragons fans, unhappy with the fact that he was marked down at the 45. Still a great gain of 7 and a second down and 3.
And again, Central looking good, moving the ball offensively here. 5:50 to go. Is the Bearcat defense going to be able to come up with something else? Another gem here to be able to stop this Central attack.
Ground game may have been stymied for a while, but right now it's looking real good. And once again, it's Muthler with the keep. I think he's close to first down yardage. He's got it. As I see him out there near the 50-yard line, so he's going to gain 2 more than he needed And it is 1st and 10 Central at midfield. And this is not a pretty picture.
No, it's not. Not
It's
at all.
5.5 left to go. It's the kind of drive so far, utilizing the ground game that's chewing up the clock. And it could be the type of drive that ends up getting Central the lead and leaving Huntingdon with very little time to do anything. Let's see how it plays out. 1st and 10 at midfield. Muthler continues at quarterback, takes the snap and the quick handoff to Detweiler, who picks up about 3. He's brought down at about the 47-yard line, and it'll bring up a 2nd down and 7.
Now, the one thing that Central has done great all night long is take away the big play. Huntington does not have a play greater than 12 yards, 18 yards the first run by Hootie, 18 yards all night long. And that is very untypical from what we have seen out of this Bearcat offense all year.
Unable to get any passes completed there to Jonathan Price. And Price eventually got his, bad snap, brought down by Muthler, though, and he turns it into positive yardage as he gets over the 45 and down to about the 43-yard line. Needs to get near the 40 for a 1st down. Let's call this a 3rd down and a long 2 for Central.
5 carries, 65 yards for Muthler on the ground. He's also got 2 receptions for 36, and he's got a touchdown pass to Bellato. So Muthler having a game tonight for the Central Scarlet Dragons.
And, of course, with the ground game, the clock continues to roll. Down to 4:10 left to go in the game, 10-7. Bearcats with the lead. Muthler in the shotgun, takes the snap, hands off to Smith. Smith gets over the 40, the 35, the 30. He's gone. Touchdown, Central.
And this place just went nuts.
As well it should.
As well it should.
Jared Smith got past the linebackers, hit the secondary, and did what we've seen Ian Border do so many times here in 2017. He found that additional Lamborghini gear, and he was gone to the end zone. 13-10, Scarlet Dragons with the kick for the point after. It is up, and it is good. And it is Central 14 and the Bearcats 10. So what you got is the Bearcats with almost 4 minutes to get the ball down the field and into the end zone. Because now with that 4-point deficit, obviously, a field goal does you no good. And you have to get it into the end zone. And the field director for TV says, keep rolling, boys. And that's a good thing. You hate to see momentum shifts and game stoppages for the benefit of TV, and it's not going to happen here. There may be one at a future point, but for right now, they're going to keep the game going. So God bless America on that one. It is Preston Carstetter setting the tee down, getting ready to kick off. And can the special teams of Huntingdon pull off a really big play here? They've done it for us all year. That would be one great way to answer this. And you got to think there's a lot of energy pent up inside both Price and Wagner.
Yep, absolutely. But this is another gut check time here for the Bearcats. Perfect season is on the line here with 3:54 to go.
And the approach by Price and Wagner are to stand in the middle of the field.
Let them decide where they want to kick it.
Exactly.
Stack themselves up and let Central decide where do I want to put this ball.
Wagner's set to the far side of the field, just shy of the middle of the field. Price on the near side here in front of us. Price scoots over, has trouble fielding the ball, picks it up at the 14, out over the 15, the 20, the 25, and is pulled down by the shoulder pads as a flag comes in. I don't know if they're going to call that a horse collar or not.
Either that or it's going to be an illegal block for Huntington, which would be devastating for the Bearcats right now.
And that's what it looks like it will be, because they just tossed the flag back to the 20-yard line. It's a block in the back penalty.
Not a good thing.
Giving the Central fans another reason to rise to their feet. 3:46 remaining in the game. Central 14, Huntingdon 10. The undefeated season on the line. Will it be 9-0 or 8-1? This drive will no doubt determine the fate of the regular season record
90 yards to go
of the Bearcats, starting at their own 10 after the penalty assessed. Back to a standard formation. Hootie in the shotgun, a quarterback. Quick pass and a slant pattern is complete as he completes the first one to Jonathan Price. And you got the time to play the nickel and dime up the field. He ends up picking up 7. Nice play. You take 7 yards off every pass play, and I know Jonathan can get a lot of yards after catch, but if you keep doing 7s, you're going to march right down the field.
And again, it's another one of those slant plays, Dave, that we had talked about that Huntington has success on with their wide receivers tonight. Needed to utilize that a little bit more.
Hootie in the shotgun. Passes to the near side to Price again. Price was trying to get to the 20, and he spun down on a nice tackle by Zachary Parks.
He might have just got back to the line of scrimmage with that one.
He had the 20-yard line in his sights. He knew that's where he needed to get to. He's going to end up getting a yard out of that. And to bring up a 3rd down and 2. They got a penalty against the Bearcats on the play.
Answering to see if they're going to take it, and they are.
So the Bearcats marching back toward their end zone.
Wow, illegal block.
Illegal block the call, and the ball is placed at about the 7-yard line, it would appear. Sets up a 2nd down and 12 for the Bearcats. So once again, the nice gain by Jonathan Price has been erased after the penalty is assessed. An unusual penalty to be sure, but nonetheless it was called. Hootie will take the snap near his end zone. Rolls to his right, looks downfield, throws it out for Price, tries to catch up with it, he can't. The ball hit at about the 49-yard line at the time. Price was at the 48, and now Price and Parks have it out with each other verbally. And Price tried to, I think, goat Parks into making a move at him. But fortunately, his fellow defender, Thad Albright, for Central, got between Parks and Price.
He can have it out all he wants, but I'm going to tell you what, Parks has had the better of that matchup all night long.
I'm sure there's been a number of exchanges between the two. And to this point, as you say, Chad, Parks has been the winner. 3rd down, 12. Maybe the whole season riding on this play. 2:41. Hootie's in trouble. Is he going to get sacked for a safety? He's just going to be sacked. He's got a couple of yards to go yet before it's a or is it a safety? Nope. Mark him down at the 1-yard line. 4th down. Hootie manages to go down, but not in the end zone.
Again, we had talked about the attacking style of defense that Central has. That's their 3rd sack on Andrew Hootie tonight. And Huntington forced a punt here. Really not a choice as you're backed up all the way down to your 1-yard line.
14-10. Central with the lead. 2 minutes left to go in the game. Hootie back near the end line to punt. Gets a dandy away as far as height goes. Let's see if he's got the distance. Hits at the 42. Rolls back over midfield and back into Central territory at the 48. Picked up by Jacob Wagner there. But the Bearcats are going to have to play takeaway if they want to do anything about getting a win out of this game, because they're left with 1:46. And Muthler is probably going to continue to, he is listed as quarterback on the roster, and, well, something just fell apart and fell out. That's
looks like part of the window fell out.
It's a window screen that fell out.
Yeah, just hand that back.
So Chad picks that up and brings it back into the booth. I think that one came down from upstairs as I see someone coming down.
That's what it looks like.
That.
Yep.
Muthler fakes the handoff, keeps it, goes to the right. He'll be brought down just over midfield at about the 49. A flag came in at the end of that, and I think that may have been a face mask. The way Muthler went down, it was a little awkward.
There's also some frustration going on for the Bearcats. They got to keep their cool.
Alex Mikett, not very happy. And they pick the flag up.
So a 3-yard pickup from Muthler as he continues to keep the ground game going for Central.
Well, it went from being a very quiet Central crowd to a very noisy one after the run by Jared Smith. And a timeout is called by the Bearcats, leaving them with 1, I think. Scoreboard says they have 2. Did they not use 1 earlier, Chad? I thought they had.
I thought they did too. But
yes, now it comes off the scoreboard. There's 1:40 left to go. Central leads the game 14-10. And the Bearcats need to get the football back. Magically, the football has moved back from the 49 to near the 50-yard line. Please, BIAA, put hash marks on high school fields. We need
please.
them. Well, the Bellwood Blue Devils with a big win tonight over Southern Huntingdon, 28-0. Bishop Guilfoyle, 31. Johnstown, 7. 56 in a row for BG. And probably time for somebody to sit down and say, we've got to change our way of thinking here. Either create a parochial division within the PIAA or change the way they get classified. And the evil word recruiting will pop up in that discussion. 1:40 left to go. Here we go. Bearcats needing a turnover. Muthler takes the snap and hands off to Smith. Smith has the first down and more. They'll bring him down at about the 40. And Central has moved a step closer to putting a nail in the coffin of the Huntingdon Bearcats' perfect season. And a timeout called by the Bearcats, their final one. 1:31 left to go. Central up 14-10. And after that first down, the hopes of the Bearcats really dwindling because you can't think that Central's going to do anything risky at this point, Chad.
No, I agree. And, they're just going to keep the ball on the ground, and there's no reason not to. Smith is running hard. Muthler is that change of pace back that has come in the second half. They even made all the difference in the world for the Central offense. As he is now up to 68 yards on 6 carries. Smith now 12 carries for 100 yards as he cracks the century mark for the Central Scarlet Dragons. So really here in the fourth quarter, Central starting to impose their will at the line of scrimmage and kind of just doing what they need to do to tire out the Bearcat defense.
Carstetter started the game at quarterback, and of course both teams started to mess with Wildcats and what have you, and it kind of looked like they were utilizing Noah Muthler as a Wildcat quarterback, but he is also listed on the roster as a QB, and he's done a fine job and was exactly what the Scarlet Dragons needed to, at this point, appear to have achieved the upset against the Huntingdon Bearcats. 1st and 10, the ball at the Bearcats' 40. And everybody's still standing around. It's a victory formation, and that's that. Bearcats without any timeouts, so the clock is going to roll down. And the undefeated season will come to an end. Be tuned tomorrow, Pitt Panthers football. Panthers in Durham, North Carolina to take on the Duke Blue Devils. Expecting the kickoff around 12:20. You'll be able to hear a rebroadcast of this game prior to that. We also have coverage of the Huntingdon Halloween Parade coming up Monday night. Join Jeff Speck as he patrols the parade route, gives you updates 7 to 9. Parade route coverage here on the airnetwork.net. And Muthler takes another knee, and it's 3rd down. 46 ticks left on the clock. Nothing the Bearcats can do about it. They're standing there, and they got to soak in the fact that they have taken their first defeat in 2017. And this game, as we said at the beginning, that had been circled on many people's calendars because of its perceived importance at the beginning of the season lives up to the expectations, and it ends up being the game that takes away the undefeated season from the Bearcats. Another knee, that'll do it. Clock ticking down, 10 seconds left to go, and the final score tonight is going to be the Scarlet Dragons of Central 14 and the Bearcats 10. It is now official, 14-10, as the clock expires. What an effort by the Scarlet Dragons tonight. And it just goes to show that every once in a while you throw that little bit of a wrinkle in there. Carstetter, normally the quarterback for the team, ends up being supplanted by Muthler, also a quarterback. But I'll tell you what, he really did a job here. And even though the Bearcats took that first possession in the second half, drove it down to the field and down the field, that is, to score the touchdown to go up 10-7. What Muthler did on the possession after that was some pretty amazing stuff. We're going to take a break here and allow Chad to continue to plow through the calculator and get you some totals as far as stats go. And let's see. Ed Hohenstein checking in, listening to the game tonight. Thanks, Ed. And we'll be rebroadcasting this at 11 o'clock tonight. Keep that in mind as well. Some commercials here. Back with a final word on tonight's game after this. It's Bearcat football. The Bearcats no longer undefeated, now 8-1 on the season. We'll be back to wrap it up right after this timeout on the airnetwork.net and 94.1 FM in Huntingdon.
Call Austin Smith Heating and Plumbing for affordable heating, plumbing, and drain cleaning services in Huntingdon. Count on 12 years of ensured excellent service when it comes to heating, plumbing, ventilation, and drain cleaning. Call Austin Smith Heating and Plumbing, available evenings and weekends at an affordable rate. Call 814-506-5128. That's 506-5128 for Austin Smith Heating and Plumbing in Huntingdon.
Sometimes facts are hard to face. Statistics show that obesity is a problem in the United States, and it's not getting any better. At Simone Family Chiropractic, we understand this problem. We also know that obesity leads to very, very serious health problems later in life. There is a way to cleanse your body and get back to optimum health. It is called the Doctor-Supervised Chirothin System, and it teaches you how and what to eat in the real world. Call us at Simone Family Chiropractic at 814-643-2616, or stop in and see us at 613 Washington Street in Huntingdon, across from All American Pizza, or find us on Facebook.
The Huntingdon Moose Family Center 223 is the heart of the community, and they have loads of activities in October. The Huntingdon Moose Family Center 223 proudly presents the Huntingdon Halloween Parade on Monday, October 23rd in downtown Huntingdon. Come on down with the entire family and enjoy the evening. Also in October, you can enjoy our Friday food specials beginning at 5 p.m. Plus, check our website for other exciting events. There's always something happening at the Huntingdon Moose Family Center 223, where you come in as friends and leave as family. Join us today.
All-American Pizza and Subs in downtown Huntingdon at 612 Washington Street is the home of the new Bearcat Sub. Enjoy mozzarella cheese with bacon, crispy chicken, sour cream and chive fries, and our top-selling wing flavor, Mactown Gold, all wrapped on a fresh homemade roll. Try the Bearcat plus our many other great pizzas and subs at All-American Pizza and Subs. Don't forget their new Pepsi flavor shots, too. All-American Pizza and Subs will donate $1 for every pizza sold during October, with proceeds going toward breast cancer research. Call 643-0222 for delivery. Open till 9, closed Mondays.
D.C. Goodman and Sons and the Goodman family are committed and dedicated to excellence by supporting quality education and athletics for all youth of Huntingdon County. For over 3 generations, D.C. Goodman and Sons and their staff of quality tradesmen have provided excellent service in the installation of plumbing, mechanical and industrial piping, electrical, and fire sprinkler systems. Residential services are also available. D.C. Goodman and Sons and the Goodman family will continue to serve the community, and thank you for your support. The Goodman family wishes you the best to all area students in your pursuit of excellence.
Hi, this is Andrew Hootie. You're listening to the Huntingdon Bearcats on the airnetwork.net.
Welcome back to Central High School football field in Roaring Spring, Pennsylvania, where there'll be a lot of fans that don't want to exactly exit the football field very quickly tonight and savor this big win, 14-10, over the Huntingdon Bearcats, taking away the Bearcats' perfect season bid and sending them to an 8-1 mark, while Central goes to 6-3. And this muddies things in the Mountain League as well.
Yeah, it muddies things in the Mountain League as now there's a three-way tie as Bellefonte, Central, and Huntington all have one loss. It also could potentially muddy things in the district standings as well. Huntington was looking to secure the top seed. Now this one loss will back them up a little bit as Forest Hills will gain ground tonight and try to secure the top seed on their own. Now, fortunately, Huntington has a game against Warren next week, Warren being a Quad A opponent, that also being big points for the Bearcats. So we'll see if they're still able to maintain that top seed. But again, a tough loss for Huntington tonight. Really, Dave, offensively not able to do too much, and we're going to get at that here in a second, as Huntington was only able to have 9 first downs, 108 yards rushing, 26 yards passing, 134 yards of total offense for the Bearcats. Conversely, for Central, 10 first downs, 196 yards on the ground, 137 through the air. So 333 yards of total offense for Central versus 134 for the Bearcats.
Wow.
If we look offensively, individually for the Bearcats, Border 19 carries, 62 yards, and 1 touchdown. He was a leading ground gainer for the Bearcats. Really not much to speak of after that. But it was also in the passing game. Jonathan Price, 2 catches for 13 yards.
Yikes.
Jarris Warner, 2 catches for 12. Alex Mikett, 1 catch for 1 yard. So Andrew Hootie, 5 of 18, 26 yards. And that's not all against Andrew Hootie. That's outstanding play by the defensive secondary for Central, causing the Huntington passing game to do what they did tonight.
Yeah, which was a combination of sacks and nobody really being able to catch the football. What an effort by the Scarlet Dragons defense against the Huntingdon Bearcats. Once again, changing their record to having 1 loss on it now at 8-1. And when things start rolling downhill, Chad, they really roll downhill. Astros 1, Yankees nothing.
Oh, well, yeah, there's a long way to go in that game.
That's the bottom of the 5th already.
Keeping the faith in that one, Dave.
Bottom of the 5th. Verlander and Severino are 2 pretty quick pitchers,
locked in a battle.
Especially when they are on, when they're in the strike zone.
Locked in a battle. But, getting back to this game, we're seeing Huntington taking a little bit extra time out there in the middle of the field. I'm sure there's a lot of disappointed players, wearing Bearcat uniform tonight. But here's the deal. It's 1 loss. The playoffs are still looming ahead of you. You're still going to get that all-important bye. No matter whether you're the top seed or the 2nd seed, have a home semifinal playoff game. Now it might not be against Central. People seem to think that if Central lost this game, they might end up playing that 4-5 matchup, which Huntington being the top seed would end up playing them maybe again. Central might have secured the number 3 seed here with Huntington, that Quad A game next week. If they're able to get the top seed, they would stay away from Central and Forest Hill. So, sometimes there might be a silver lining at the end of the day, and you never hate to say a loss could help you because that's never the case, but it might help this team over here.
Well, I think in general, better to get the loss in the regular season when you're on this kind of a roll like they have been, rather than being in the one-and-done playoffs and have that loss come up at that point.
Exactly.
By the way, another score, Penguins are leading the Florida Panthers, and that is a 3-2 score with 15-14 left to go in that hockey game. Still 1-0 Astros over the Yankees. So that's going to do it for tonight. We have a big road trip in store for us next week. It'll be the Huntingdon Bearcats on the road to Warren, Pennsylvania. If you don't know, you might as well be in New York State by the time you get to Warren. So that's how far up into Pennsylvania it is, into the northwest corner, and those kinds of things happen when you're trying to find somebody to schedule. And Warren had the open date, and so Huntingdon is headed there to play next week. And that means Chad and I are headed up the highway to bring you the game here on the airnetwork.net and 94.1 FM in Huntingdon. Don't forget Pitt football tomorrow, Huntingdon Halloween parade on Monday, and Tuesday night sports talk this week. Once again, by the way, any final thoughts?
No, just Huntington has to keep their head held high. Don't get too down on this defeat. They played an outstanding football game. This was a tough loss, but a very, very close loss. It wasn't like they got blown out. 2 defenses going toe-to-toe out here. One play, one way or the other, was going to break it, and it could have went to either team, Dave. So Huntington needs to keep their heads held high. They're going to be just fine heading into the District 6 playoffs.
14-10, the final score tonight from Central High School football field in Roaring Spring, Pennsylvania. For Chad State's Greg Banks. Wait a minute. Banks is trying to... I can't read it because I've taken my glasses off. I have no... okay. Thank you, Greg. For Chad State's Greg Banks, and for our wonderful listeners out there, thanks for checking in with us. We know you're out there, and we just kind of kid around from time to time, but it is good for you to check in and let us know you're out there, and many of you did tonight, and you heard a heck of a good football game. I don't know if I described it well for you, but it was a heck of a football game, believe me. We'll catch you again next Friday night, 6:45 pregame, 7 o'clock kickoff, as the Bearcats will take on Warren High School on the airnetwork.net and 94.1 FM in Huntingdon. 14-10, the final. See you again next week. Good night, everybody.
Thanks for listening to Bearcat Football on the airnetwork.net and 94.1 FM in Huntingdon. Tonight's game presented by Huntingdon Moose Family Center 223, the heart of the community, and by D.C. Goodman & Sons and the Goodman family. Tonight's game also brought to you by Simone Family Chiropractic at 613 Washington Street in downtown Huntingdon. Penswoods.net, the home of free classified ads. And by Austin Smith Heating and Plumbing of Huntingdon. Join us for rebroadcast of tonight's game throughout the week here on the Air Network and 94.1 FM. Get set for more live Bearcat action all season long, exclusively on the home of the Huntingdon Bearcats. This is the airnetwork.net and 94.1 FM in Huntingdon.